Hello, everyone. This is the Dukes of Degeneracy podcast. This is episode 10. Today, we are doing a Common Grounds episode where we are going to talk about Hyouka. Last week, that was, or was it? Yeah, last week that was delayed for just personal reasons, and so now we're back again doing that episode. And just as an update as well, later this month I'll be moving into college, so there'll probably be a short period of time where we won't be having episodes, but I expect those to resume later in the month following. So we'll see how it goes, though. We'll keep our eyes peeled and all that stuff. And next week we have a guest coming over, and Matt is cooking up something special with his quiz or whatnot and stuff. He showed us the layout. I'm pretty excited. I'm always excited for a guest episode. But
I got some good stuff.
Yeah.
Some good ideas.
So
A little bit of cultural cross pollination.
And so, as well, because we delayed the Hyouka episode, we decided to add a little something extra for this week, and we are doing somewhat of a show and tell, and so that includes physical or digital items that each of us are here to present. So that'll be interesting. But what have you guys been watching, boys?
Matt?
A whole lot, I'll be honest. I've been very busy with lots of other things, and I don't know. I got every all my free time has just been going to playing games for the most part.
Yeah.
I haven't been watching a whole lot, I'll be honest.
What about you, Alex?
Yeah. Well, about an hour ago, I finished up Idolmaster. That was another.
I heard.
great
Yeah,
idol show.
Alex was just talking about. It's like, man, what am I gonna watch now? I need to find another idol show.
I do. That's the problem. I was like, there's a couple of spin-offs for Idolmaster that I've been taking a look at. There's a Idolmaster Sidem, which is just it's just a 12-episode show. I think of just all of, like, the male units, which is going to be
I'll watch that
first
one.
for me is watching men animate boys instead of anime girls, which is it's going to be a different step.
That is
There's also
okay.
it's also
Alex is really that desperate for idol content, I guess.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Oh man, he
there's
was
also-
literally talking about how he's like, man, I really wish I could learn Japanese so that I could understand the Hololive Japanese VTubers and shit.
Literally, man. Like anything for more idol content.
Oh man.
Like I'm pulling at strings here. I might have to go and find another franchise. But the last time I stepped outside of Love Live or Idolmaster, it was Zombieland Saga, and that I barely even count that as an idol show because it wasn't really that good.
Mm-hmm.
So, but apart from that, watching some of the weekly stuff. I didn't start Jahi-sama. I know that started last week, but I just hadn't touched it yet.
It looks. I mean, along with a lot of other things this season, it kind of just looks so mediocre. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I guess Love Live is back after the Olympics were going on for 2 weeks. I was busy watching those, and now that the Olympics are done.
Well, there's only one
Love Live's
episode
back.
right this week, and then or two, and then they're gonna go on another short break for the Paralympics, right?
Yeah. So, well, we
He's,
love the International Olympic Committee.
Actually,
Unfortunately,
you know what would actually be worth mentioning is I guess what were your favorite events from the Olympics, guys? Did you guys?
Oh,
I know, like, I will say when I joined this Discord, like, this was the first group of people that I've ever met. Like, I've never even seen my family watch the Olympics, or like, I see my mom watching it late at night sometimes. But like, you guys are the first group of people that I met that like actually like watches the Olympics. I didn't know anybody that watched the Olympics before.
Alex
All right.
fucking loves the
So-
Olympics.
so-
I don't
I
know.
can tell because you guys were watching like 10 different events during the thing
Yeah.
in the Discord.
as a kid, I always really liked watching the Olympics. 'Cause I think like the first time I was like introduced to them formally was through like Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, and for like the 2008
game,
games.
by the way.
That's
And I was,
that's
like,
how everyone's introduced to it. Like,
Yeah, but it was
Banger
like
game,
it was
by the
like
way.
it was the 2008 like the Beijing Games,
Mhm.
and I played the video games for it on the Wii, and I was like, damn, this shit's fun as hell. And then I was told, oh yeah, by the way, next year, which was Vancouver 2010, was held in Canada. I'm like, shit. Well, I guess I'll follow that, and I followed that when I was a kid, and ever since then, whenever there's Olympic Games, I follow along with it. So, you bet your ass that in a year from now, when we have 2022, I think we're in Beijing again for the Winter Olympics this year or next year.
Yeah, it's in China again, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's in China
And then
again.
Paris for the summer following that.
Yeah.
Wait,
so we got.
Hold on. We're having more Olympics. Wait, what?
Yeah, there's.
every 4 years.
Oh, sorry. I meant
every 2 years.
soon or something. Like, are they gonna do it like 2024?
So,
or are they gonna do it
No,
2024?
it'll be next year.
So
Next
what it is
year?
that every 2 years, there's an Olympic Games. So they have summer, then 2 years later it's winter, then 2 years later it's summer,
that's
and
right.
on and on and on.
That's right. That's
They
right.
It was
alternate,
supposed to be. It was supposed to be Tokyo last year, but it got delayed to this year.
Right.
So now
Which is
instead of
why-
it being, now it's a 3-year gap for
Right.
the Olympics that just passed, and then we're gonna get winter in 1 year, and then we'll be back on schedule. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
but to answer your question, Matt, you want to go ahead and say the answer that I can easily tell right now?
What for my favorite sport or my favorite
Yeah.
game?
Can I guess? Can I guess?
I mean, I gotta
Can I
go with
guess?
climbing.
Oh,
I gotta go
okay,
with sport
okay,
climbing.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah. Dude,
I love sport climbing.
Okay, I only watched a little bit of it, and I was actually like talking to my, because I went in town, because I was out of town for a while, and then I came back for just a day, so I met like a fuck ton of people yesterday, and I was talking to my coworkers and shit, and like apparently some of them got into rock climbing and shit, and they were like explaining it, and I was talking to them, I was just like, dude, watching those clips of those dudes like soar up those fucking walls,
dude,
they're actually like they're like
insane.
monkeys, bro. It's actually insane. Like,
It's insane. Yeah, they get up like a whole ass speed wall in like 5 seconds.
yeah,
It's
no,
like,
like the way that like I can't even imagine like getting your footing, figuring out where you're going next and shit, and like also your feet following like properly as well. Like, it's like split second. Like, I mean, like they have to be on autopilot. I cannot see a world where they're just like.
you can't think. Yeah,
Yeah.
no thinking involved. It's just
when you're
it's
going
just-
at that speed, like that just amazes me. Like, I'm not gonna say it's like my favorite event, but that was really cool. That was
Well,
like
and
that was a crazy surprise, I will say.
The funniest thing is that this is the first year that the climbing was at the Olympics. So, and I think it left a really good
It
impression
definitely
on a lot of
deserves to
people.
be there.
Yeah.
And I think it's
it's great.
going to stay
Yeah,
solid because
yeah.
there were 5 events that started this year. It was climbing, surfing, skating, and then it was like BMX like tricks and BMX race.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I didn't see anything about the BMX ones. I think they were fine.
I
The
didn't watch
surfing
any
ones
of
are
them
kind of
either.
boring. The surfing ones are kind of boring.
It's just that's because they the surfers were complaining about like the waves like in Tokyo, like off the coast of Japan, because apparently the waves were just not very good. Like they were literally just like they
I mean,
were
what are you gonna
struggling to
do,
get like
though?
even one trick out, like
Like-
even one thing out on one wave.
Yeah, look, I was talking to my brother about this actually, and I was like, anything, like, all these, like, sports, I low-key feel like it's just, like, how the fuck can you even put these in the Olympics sometimes? Where it's, like, how are you gonna, like, judge it, like, properly and shit like that? And, like, I don't know. It's not, like, from an entertainment perspective and then a logistics standpoint as well, like, again, it's, like, the surfing thing, right? Where the waves, like, how are you gonna?
You
like,
can't
do
control that,
You
right?
can't.
So the waves were shit that day, and half the surfers just had a horrible time even doing anything. They
Yeah,
couldn't even
exactly.
Get, like, one trick
And
out.
so there's some things that you can't control, and like I feel that way about a number of sports in the Olympics. But honestly, anything that moves us closer to eventually putting like esports in the Olympics, like I'm
It's.
all
I
for
think
it.
it's due to happen.
It is. But I'm
gonna happen.
saying like esports doesn't happen unless all these other like sports that I think don't think deserve to be there like get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So-
Fair enough.
I don't know. I can't see the esports ever being in the Olympics. I don't see it. Like it'd be cool, but I just don't see it.
It is a really hard sell. Like I'll admit, because like if chess isn't in the Olympics, then like why would esports? At least that's the way I see it.
This has been around for literally thousands of years at this point,
and
right?
chess is like definitely has a broader appeal than esports. So I don't know. It is a very tough sell, but anything that might edge us closer, like I'm all for.
Did you have any favorites?
we can hope.
Me?
Yeah.
No, not really. I mean, like, I would chill in the room when my parents were watching, but see, whenever they were watching, it was like all the boring shit, in my opinion. Like, I mean,
Dude,
like
diving is good. I like
we were watching
diving
archery.
too.
Diving was
I
pretty
can't watch diving for like more than like 5-10 minutes. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah,
I like diving.
It loses its
Diving's good.
appealing. Like I think the swimming's kind of cool. The running stuff's pretty cool. But like anything that stands out. I mean, okay, I'm gonna get into this a little bit more. But I spent a decent amount of my trip going on YouTube and watching like professional volleyball clips.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
volleyball's really cool.
Volleyball's a good sport to watch. It's really good fun to watch.
Yeah, volleyball is really cool. Like if I were to choose one, I'd say volleyball. But I didn't actually watch any of the Olympic like volleyball.
Did you watch any beach?
I
beach
did,
volleyball's cool.
but I think beach volleyball is
Fun to watch.
inferior to standard volleyball.
Well, it's hard to do. Like I think they usually do doubles.
Yeah, it's always
which
doubles.
is
They did
it
doubles.
makes it's definitely like a less entertaining because it's less like you'll get less digs, like epic digs. You'll get less
Like no rallies
like,
or anything like that,
coordination.
really.
You know,
Yeah.
it's literally just whoever can execute better over the longer period of time because it's exhausting as well being in the heat. Especially with how hot it is in Japan right now.
Well, also
on
the
the
sand,
sand.
like
Oh
also
my
yeah,
God.
when you're on the sand
Yeah.
too, it's harder to
Yeah,
get that acceleration going.
But yeah, I don't like beach volleyball is good. I just don't like regular volleyball is definitely way more entertaining because you get like the epic digs, the epic
Yeah.
team play spikes, and
Well,
like it's
Yeah,
way more entertaining.
I mean,
definitely.
for me, it's actually like I'm a big like team play like guy. Like that's like my favorite part about it. Like you can tell from like all the games that I play. Like I enjoy the games that like require good team play more and all that stuff, right? And like that's like part of like what I like to learn and when I'm like playing all these new games and shit. And like
Yeah.
and you know, like inherently a team of 6 is going to require more like better team play than a duo, right? Like two people on the court, like, you know, that's gonna have more emphasis on the individual, and like, you know, there's like a balance to be hit with, you know, when it comes to sports, but you know, I think standard volleyball hits that better than beach volleyball. I don't like too much emphasis on the individual. I like
You like team play? Do you watch any water polo?
I have not watched water polo before.
Water polo is pretty sick.
Yeah,
It's pretty.
it's pretty popular in my area.
pretty cool.
Like like in California, I feel like that would make a lot of sense. That like water polo is like pretty big. It's like I think it's like one of like the most physically strenuous sports.
No,
Oh yeah,
because
because you're
because
constantly
you're just-
treading water and moving in the water. It's like-
Right.
and you have to keep yourself completely like submerged and people and like you can like shove people under.
Right, right.
Like it's not like a low contact sport. There is some contact allowed.
Yeah.
So people are like shoving each other under to like grab the ball and like get like it's a pretty entertaining sport.
I
to
haven't
watch.
I
It's,
haven't
like,
seen it. So they had that at the Olympics this year.
Yeah,
it's
it's always
usually
been
at
for
the
a while.
Olympics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for quite a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't. I like I wasn't watching a lot of Olympics and stuff. It was normally just like my family's having it on, so like I'm just chilling in the room and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But
If in terms of my favorites, sport climbing was fucking incredible to watch. I love watching that, so I can understand that. Volleyball was a lot more fun to watch than I thought it was going to be. Like I'm never really much of a volleyball watcher, but like watching it this year, I'm like, yeah, I get it.
like
I
volleyball or
absolutely-
beach volleyball or both.
more regular volleyball. I agree with you, and the idea like I like the more fast paced like volleyball. I feel like beach volleyball is a lot slower, a lot more like play by play.
Yeah.
Than
It's usually more
than,
back and
like,
forth too.
Yeah. But I think overall, this I've always stood for this, and I think this year just confirmed it more. Is that any of like the track and field stuff, fucking immaculate. I fucking love track and field stuff.
It's a good time. It's a good
because there
time.
was like the high jump, pole jump. There's some shit happening like long jump. Any of like the races, the relays, those are good too.
Mhm.
But the big one for me this year was the decathlon, because the decathlon is basically like 7
events,
different.
right?
Is it 10? I think it's 10.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
10.
deck is
10 because
Yeah,
Deca's 10. So
Yeah, but it's like these athletes that have to go through like 10 individual events. So they have to go through like a hurdles event,
nuts.
just a regular race, a marathon. Fucking like they have to go through like so much.
They
shit,
do
but, like,
archery as well, I'm pretty sure. And
I
maybe
don't-
shooting?
I don't think they do that.
Is it sport shooting?
I don't think they do either
I don't
of
think
those.
it's
I
archery
think
or
that-
shooting.
That's you're thinking of the modern pentathlon. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
the
what that is.
pentathlon?
But okay.
The pentathlon is running, swimming, biking, shooting, and equestrian, so horseback.
Yeah, it's like air shooting, right? Like it's just or is it like it's like disc shooting, I think,
Yeah,
right?
it's-
Like
it's-
skeet shooting,
yeah.
I guess.
Uh-huh.
Same as that.
Okay.
But the decathlon, look, it's just like seeing like one person do like, oh yeah, let me just do like these 10 sports casually.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? Like, let's watch this dude do hurdles, then do long.
Do they
jump,
have to do it
then high
consecutively,
jump.
or is it just like
No, but like over
Okay.
the course of like 3 days, they do these 10 events.
Okay. And so like,
for how
and so
well they
is
do,
it just
they get
how well they do at the end of it, or is it like? Is
The
it like, or is
combination
it
of
like
things
up
is
like
that,
per?
isn't it?
So like you can get a gold in the javelin, but like not the hurdles or
Yeah.
some shit.
So depending on how well you did, like because they do 10 events. So after the end of the first event, your placement will give you a certain amount of points, and then you do it for the next event, and then your placement there adds on to your points. And
At the very end,
at the
tallies
end
total
of all of
points.
the events, the tally of all your points together places you where you are.
Hmm.
Also, we got a guy from London that won gold. So
Actually,
yeah, the guy from London.
cool.
So
What a guy.
I believe
London
there
Well
was.
done. Well done, guy.
I was listening to the radio this morning, and like I do believe there was a girl from my area, Danville, that won in something. I just don't remember what. Probably like swimming related, I think.
I wouldn't doubt it, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, the U.S. got first overall,
Right.
didn't they?
Right.
I'm
I
pretty
think
sure.
didn't they
so-
beat China
They
by like
did.
one gold medal or some shit?
They beat
It wasn't
China
by much. Yeah,
it was
wasn't by
okay. They beat
much.
China by one gold medal, but for overall medals, they beat
Yeah.
them by like
Oh
30.
yeah. They we had a lot of like overall medals.
There was a lot of
and
bronzes
stuff.
and silvers.
I
yeah.
mean, to my understanding, China got the majority of their, or like all of like the weightlifting medals and shit, right?
Not all of them.
Oh.
A couple of them, but not all of them. Because I know there was a Taiwanese girl, a lady that won one of the events. I actually don't know too much. Weightlifting was good too. Weightlifting was actually a lot of fun to watch.
Oh,
I forgot about that.
okay. Oh my god. You know what is like the dumbest like Olympic sport? You know, we should all go around to say what we think is the dumbest Olympic sport, because I feel like this is what we're about.
I don't think I have one. I'll be honest.
I'm
Horseback
looking at the
riding
list
is
real quick.
fucking stupid. That shit was like, that is
okay.
not fun to watch. That is like,
It's
you
just
know-
incredibly technical. It's incredibly technical. It's a very technical sport. If you don't know what you're watching, you won't enjoy it.
I guess.
So I grew up. My sister rode horses competitively.
Okay.
So I kind of know what to expect when watching competitive like equestrian sports. So like she did mostly sport jumping, like horse jumping, which is like it's a very like that's more like time and like execution based. But things like what's it called? Fuck. I think it's a P word. I don't remember what it's called. But it's the one where basically they just have to like follow instructions. It's literally just follow the announcer's instructions perfectly, and you have to keep your horse like perfectly controlled. I don't know if that's actually in the Olympics.
So like,
but
what the hell goes into like controlling a horse then? Like, I don't understand.
It's a lot of training because you have to train the animal, who is significantly less intelligent than a human, and
Right.
you have to control them and give them the correct like instructions and signals to like make sure they're doing the right thing, right? Like it's very very technical. It's not very entertaining if you don't know what you're watching, but if you like horses and you know what's going on, then you'll love it because it is incredibly difficult to do. But
Okay.
you know, I respect the difficulty. I don't want to watch it, but I respect the difficulty at least.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was just watching that shit. I was like, who the fuck would ever want to watch this? My mom was like, it's majestic. I was like, what? Like, I was like, what? Like, does that make that good entertainment though? Like, fucking no. Like, oh my god. I would not, I don't know. I don't care how majestic this is. I don't want to watch this shit. It's boring.
It's literally just if you don't know horses, then you won't want to watch it, which is like fine, you know. But it is definitely, I think it still does definitely deserve to be there. I think it's like, it's a difficult sport. It's a very prestigious sport.
Okay.
I think,
I'll
like,
take
the
your
events
word
I-
for it. I'll take your word for it. I don't know it, you know.
The events I probably dislike the most are more like the artistic ones, because like I feel like a lot of them are just like, all right, cool, 2 minutes, do your thing, and then you're done. I feel like
Artistic?
diving is the exception, like artistic. Sorry.
What is like?
So like, well, like
It's more like
art-
creative based.
So like artistic swimming or like
Or like the ribbon.
Oh, that
gymnastics.
stuff.
The ribbon
Yeah, like the ribbon
gymnastics.
artistic gymnastics.
That's a
I'm not
thing.
a fan
The
of any of
ribbon
those.
shit is like a
Yeah,
Olympic.
It's
What the
like
fuck?
you like have ribbons
I think-
and yeah.
I think I think some gymnastics are like really fun to watch, like the
Yeah.
beam or like the vault
Or the pole
or, like,
thing
the-
where
the
they're
two-
they're swinging on the
the
pole.
two-
That one's pretty
yeah.
cool too.
Yeah, that
the,
one's
the
sick.
the,
Yeah.
the parallel bars, like those are really fun to watch. But like the ones where it's just like, here's a mat and you're just gonna do some flips and shit, I'm just like, I don't really
Tumbling is like
wanna watch
it's kind
this.
of I wouldn't want to watch it. Yeah, that's true. Tumbles aren't very entertaining to me.
And then I'm
They're
just
cool,
not,
but
I don't
eh.
like artistic swimming either. Like the whole like synchronized swimming shit. Like it's impressive, but like if you-
I wouldn't
it's
personally
just,
watch it. Yeah,
Like I'll watch synchronized diving because that's like actually really difficult to do and it's really entertaining to watch.
Mhm.
But the swimming one, like it's probably difficult, but it's just like it's just I don't know, man.
Yeah, pretty much. That sums it up.
Eh.
That sums it up. But we'll just
Eh.
What about you, Matt?
for like sports that I don't like.
Yeah.
Can't really think of anything honestly. Like
Anything?
you know what? Actually, okay.
Something
so
that
here's the
just
thing.
doesn't catch your interest.
Fencing is a sport. Fencing is a sport that I think is gonna be cool every time I want to watch it, and then I watch it and I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, this is kind of boring.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm
Like,
with you there.
Swords. I want the sword sport to be cool.
Right, you think
but the
it's
sword
like-
sport is not very cool.
You think it's gonna be like you know that movie where like fuck, I don't remember, it's like Princess Bride or some shit where it's like my name is like Inigo Montoya and they're like going at each
Oh,
other and
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
and it's like a back and forth type shit. Like you think it's gonna be something cool like that, but it's over just in a second.
It's not, yeah.
And it's like it's just
Oh,
over
yeah,
and over. It's the
one
same
engagement
shit.
and it's over. That's
Yeah,
it.
and I'm like,
As the fighting game player here, all they do is play neutral. They just play neutral and wait for one person to fuck up, and then they just poke and then they win, and then that's a round.
yeah,
That's all it is. Which is
Yeah,
like, and that's
it's,
like it's like you're playing the game as optimally as possible, which is like I guess you are at the Olympics for that, but like. Man, like having like
It's
back
not-
and
Yeah,
forth,
man.
having back and forth or like clashes would like be actually entertaining.
yeah,
to
no,
watch.
that'd be
Just, like,
sick.
oh,
Like
oh, oh,
that's what
gotcha.
I bet. Like that's kind of like what you'd imagine it to be. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those sports that's incredibly underwhelming, especially if you don't know what fencing is. You're like, whoa, they have swords in that sport. I would have watched that, and then it's
Right.
like, this kind of
Yeah,
boring.
this is kind of
I don't know why I'm here.
yeah. It seems like they give fencing like the worst time slots for a reason, though. I feel like nobody watches fencing. I don't know.
Fencing.
Yeah,
was-
I don't know. I wish fencing was cooler, but it's just not.
Yeah,
That's why my biggest gripe, I think,
Okay.
for any of the
That-
sports
that's
is
fair.
fencing.
That's fair. You don't have to hate a
Yeah.
sport. You just, for whatever reason, you might not like a sport. But or
I really like watching wrestling as well, especially like because I did wrestling for my last year of high school, and
Uh-huh.
it was pretty fun. And I like watching wrestling because it's fun to watch people throw each other around and
Yeah.
grapple.
I've never seen.
Because I mean, like
wrestling
it's
Judo was fun to watch too.
oh yeah,
actually.
judo's cool too.
Judo was a
yeah,
lot of
judo's
fun
cool
to
too.
watch.
Yeah.
before. Was judo new? Or something. Oh, you know what was
No.
new?
No.
Karate was new. I think. Right.
Was it?
Really?
I believe
didn't-
so.
I didn't
That's what
see
my
that.
okay. That's what my parents were saying.
Because judo's always in, but and so is wrestling.
Mhm.
Like it's been in for a very long time. I didn't remember hearing about a karate being added though.
Yeah, I'm
was it
pretty-
like
I'm
was
pretty
it like
sure karate's
like
not, yeah.
striking involved as well? Because
I didn't
know,
watch
like,
it.
Muay Thai.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it. That's the thing.
Okay,
That's what my parents
I'm
were
pretty sure
talking about.
Muay Thai is in there, isn't there? I don't know. I could be wrong.
Mm.
I feel like it is, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Anyways,
Okay.
should we move
Well,
on to
yeah.
the
Well,
Good.
hold on. I watched a lot of stuff actually because I was out of town.
Oh, shit.
okay, yeah,
Right?
for anime, right?
So, I went out of town, right? Went down to Hawaii with my family. My mom's from Hawaii, so we visit pretty often, and because we got family down there. So, and the thing is like now that I live in the middle of nowhere, I have to drive to a major location to go to an airport that can take us to Hawaii. So we had to drive from somewhere in SoCal all the way up to like San Francisco. That's like a 3.5 hour drive. So we left at 7 in the morning, and our flight left at like, fuck, when did our flight leave? I don't even know, like 4, I think 5, something like that.
In the evening, right? Like in the afternoon.
Yeah. And so and then we like I didn't get back to the hotel room until like I want to say 9 o'clock, like 12 o'clock Pacific. So like I guess if you think of it that way, then essentially I had like 17 hours of like traveling time that day or whatnot. So in
Not
that
fun.
time, I watched 25 episodes of Haikyuu. I watched all of Haikyuu to the top. Oh, it's so
Let's
good.
go.
It's so good. So much
so
fun.
good, right?
It's so much fun.
So good.
Haikyuu is
It's
so
such a
much
good
fun.
show.
And it really just makes me excited for volleyball. For like I had no business in getting into volleyball before Haikyuu. But like now it's like I watch it and I'm like this is cool. Like I'm not going to like get into players or any shit like that, but like I watch that shit I'm like this is like fucking sick.
Good sport. It's a
Yeah.
cool sport.
Yeah, it's fun. It's entertaining. Like I don't watch a lot of traditional sports. I watch a lot of esports and I'm like Haikyuu's cool. So
Told you.
really
told you
really
so.
fucked with the
That's all I'm
Tanaka
saying.
shit. Really fucked with I don't know. I
How'd you
really
how'd
every
you like the
character is
Mia
awesome.
twins?
Mia twins were
How'd you like the Mia
sick.
twins?
Oh my
They're
god,
sick, right? They're
I love their
so
theme.
sick.
I love the theme with the sax, like the sax, and I loved how like when they were like doing their like scenes and shit, like it was like the lights kind of go off and there's like the green like flooring and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like the green glow. Those scenes
Yeah.
were so sick, and like I loved what Inarizaki? I don't know. I don't remember their
Inazaki's the high school, right?
that
It's
school
the school
like
itself.
because like sometimes you get schools that are like you're interested in the entire cast of the other team and all that stuff, and I think they did a good job of like not trying to waste your time on like a bunch of characters that won't really matter, but like at the same time like each character on the other team had a presence, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it was really cool. And
One of my favorite quotes from Haikyuu comes from Inazaki's captain,
what did he say?
which is the quote about it's like the like this is a game of like monsters ball because
to the
like they're
Monsters Ball, yeah.
they're playing with like these super talents, yeah, right. And he's like, we should just be happy like to be playing alongside these guys, like we should just be in the moment and just play our best and like try to be honored to be here.
Yeah.
I fucking love that quote. I don't remember the exact quote. I'd have to find it, but that's one of my favorite quotes in all the show.
Yeah. That was a
Like it's like
they were all very
it's like
impressive.
there's always been people like yeah. That's true.
And like that's why they all had a presence despite like not really diving into a lot of those characters and stuff. And yeah, also they changed the studio for better or worse. I don't hate it.
I think it still looks pretty good.
Yeah.
They had one episode that was outsourced, which you can definitely tell which episode it is. It's like pretty early on in the season. I'm pretty sure, or like pretty early on in part 2 of To the Top. I think it's like maybe the second or third episode. It's outsourced, so you can tell it's like not the same studio.
Oh, okay.
Like even after the studio switch, but I still think To the Top looks pretty good. Like it still looks good. It's not like it was definitely a change from season 1 through 3, but it still looks good. So I didn't really mind.
Yeah, I don't.
It took
hate
a while
it,
to get used to, but that was all.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, no problem with it really. Some character design, like slight character design changes and stuff, like Kagayama looked a little bit different and stuff, but I'm like, I don't hate it, so yeah, no problems here. Other than Haikyuu,
Good show.
I watched a little bit of Sound Euphonium, but like I had to sleep in the same bed in like same room as both my brothers, same bed as my twin brother, and so like Sound Euphonium, especially part 2, gets pretty emotional. So I'm like, I don't want to watch this like with them here. So I like watched like the first arc and shit. And like I remember I was in the car and I was like about to cry, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait till I get home to like watch the rest of it because I don't want to ruin it. So I watched a little bit of Sound Euphonium. On the plane ride back, I watched another arc of Great Pretender. Always a fun time.
You should watch that still.
It's good, but like I really can't get myself to like I never feel the need to like binge it. I think I've only watched Great Pretender when I'm out of town. Like I don't think I've ever watched it like at home.
You like needed something to watch, and you're like, all right, I'll watch Great Pretender.
That's
Why
literally
not?
it. Yeah,
It's
but like I never feel like it's not bad by any means. I have a good time whenever I'm watching it, but I never feel like, oh man, like I really got to get on this next arc of Great Pretender. It's gonna be a banger. I don't know. It's a good show. Although I think I'm on the last arc now, and I've heard it's kind of bad, but we'll see. Whenever I go out of town, we'll see. Whenever I go out of town. Fuck, is that all? We watched Hyouka. I think that's it. I believe that's it. Yeah. So I watched.
Do you want to move on to Hyouka then?
Do we want to do Hyouka or the show and tell first? I was thinking we do the show and tell first, but we can do. We can do that. Because I figured talking about Hyouka would easily it would transition to what we should watch next. You know what I mean? So we'll do the show and tell.
Yeah.
Does someone have the name thing pulled up?
I got the random number generator. Yep.
All right.
I'm doing it. Okay, so Alex is gonna be 1. I'm gonna be 2, and Ryan's gonna be 3. All right.
Sounds good.
All right, Alex, you're up first.
Oh shit. Okay. Well,
We already know what he's presenting.
do we? No, I'm not. I'm not presenting. Okay. I mean, No, I'm gonna present. I'm gonna do something else. Right?
Okay.
'Cause I can't really go into depth on what I was gonna present.
Okay.
But what I have is I have 11. It's 10. I have 10 different things, but they're all one big whole. And that's all here. I've decided that I was going to show off a part of my manga collection.
Okay.
Nice.
In that being as much manga that is out right now for Land of the Lustrous, which is what I was going to, and what I probably still am going to recommend once we're done at the end of our suggestions today.
Okay.
This is old. Genuinely, when I originally watched Land of the Lustrous, I was like, this is good. Maybe I'll read it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I never read it. And then I said, "Oh,
even to this day." To this day?
No.
Okay.
No. Because then I read the first volume like a year ago, I think it was about like a year and a half ago. And
It was
I was
a
like,
while ago, right?
I read the first volume like a year and a half ago, and I was like, damn, this is really good. I'm gonna keep reading it. And so then I ordered myself the next 10 volumes of the book.
Oh my god.
And these sat on my shelf back there for what I got. Like, I think I started getting them like last May, like May of 2020. And I just did not I just did not touch them. I did not touch them until maybe like 2 weeks ago. And what I will say is this is probably one of my favorite manga of all time now.
Yeah.
Wait,
but you had Land of the Lustrous. You said that when you first watched it, you were just like, it was good, I should say. But you had Land of the Lustrous in your 3x3, right?
It was really good. But the anime only goes up to the first 2 volumes.
Oh, so did you put Land of the Lustrous there because
so more.
Did you put Land of the Lustrous in your 3x3 because you read the manga and like that's what
No,
you to put there?
I had not read the manga when I put Land of the Lustrous in my 3x3. Because the anime is just that good. But now that I've read the manga, now it's in there not only because the anime is really good, because the manga is fucking amazing too.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day,
was that your first set of physical manga that you bought?
No, and I guess I may as well. I can probably go off topic for this as well. The first set of manga that I ever got was this here, which is Your Name. I got all three.
Oh, really?
I got all three.
Choice.
I got all 3 of the Your Names first.
Oh.
Huh. Because I got these before I got this.
My first set of manga that I got was I kind of unplugged my headphones. There we go. I guess you could count one or the other. I'll just grab ReZero because it's right here. But I got ReZero and Tokyo Ghoul at the same time. I was in New York, and I was kind of bored because there was like all the stuff that we were doing wasn't interesting to me. It was like museums and shit, and like it was like boring museums, and so because like some museums can be pretty cool. Okay, I don't want to get into that, but pretty much I was like, fuck, dude, I need something to do. So I went to like bookstores and shit, and I got like manga. That was the first time I was like, I went to like a bookstore. But 2 things, I guess. Like I actually bought shit at a bookstore on my own, and also the first time that like I like had physical manga like in my hands and shit. So that was cool. Yeah, I
feel like,
but I wasn't going to present that because I felt like someone else would have. I'm going to present a different manga. But yeah, I just kind of had to add that in there a wee bit. Your Name though, interesting. Not gonna lie, I think like hot take here. Take here. I think Your Name is like, I didn't like Your Name that much, honestly. And
it's really good. I liked it.
It's alright. Because what I did, because I was like trying to be very picky with myself because I was like, all right, I have to read the manga before I watch the movie.
Why?
So that's what I did.
Why?
I waited 6 extra months because by the time the movie got
that is actually the dumbest idea I think I've ever heard. Why? Wait, why would you have to read the manga before you see the movie? And you waited 6 months. At no point during those 6 months did you think to consider, maybe I can just watch the movie and then read the manga afterwards, because this movie is like a 2-hour commitment, and I'm sitting here waiting 6 months for this 2-hour commitment.
I was very stubborn. That's all that matters.
Oh my god!
But
Probably one of
I
those
think that
just a manga supremacist, you know. Thinks he's trying to min max his experience there, you know. It's like
listen. All I'm saying is that this is what we're coming up on now is going to be
probably
the first, the second,
watched Your Name
the
with a
second
glass of
time.
wine and some cheese and crackers and shit. It's a
Only
great
to assume Alex drank alcohol up until like a week ago.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, he did it for the aesthetic, you know. He got his monocle and shit, and was just like, you know.
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's
was,
cheese
though,
platter too.
is
Yeah.
that I may become a manga supremacist depending on how Part 6 is animated, because that is happening now.
Oh yeah, no.
And
Okay, you know
So
what's
far it looks
interesting?
good, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay, you know what's interesting though is that it's on Netflix, right? It's not on Crunchyroll. So like parts
I
4
don't
parts
mind,
4 and
bro.
5 aren't even on Netflix to my understanding. Maybe part 4.
Yeah, not yet. Part 4, it got announced that it's coming.
Yeah.
Part 5, not yet, though.
So like I think that's huge, honestly. I think that's a good thing just because I feel like it's going to hit broader appeal on Netflix, you know?
Mhm.
And like
Yeah.
to be fair, JoJo's is not for everyone. I'm not saying that. JoJo's is definitely not for anyone or everyone, but I feel like that's a good thing that it's on Netflix.
I think
like I don't think
also-
Netflix jail is a thing anymore. I really don't. I feel like people have accepted Netflix as like a viable anime platform now. That's my opinion.
Yeah. And there's so much.
That
on
makes
there
sense.
now,
And
like,
There's so many
absolutely.
good like Netflix originals too, like Carol and Tuesday, Great Pretender, Dorohedoro, like that's like I feel
Yeah, I
like
forgot that was on Netflix. Totally forgot.
Yeah.
Devilman too.
Devilman Crybaby, yeah, there's
Devilman was
plenty of
incredible.
good options, you know. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's a viable anime platform, and I'm stoked that it's going to be on Netflix. Like,
And it's going to be strange too, because I think Part 6 and Part 5, if that ever comes to Netflix, I think Parts 5 and
It
6
has
are
to.
the most like.
Part
I
5
think they're the
has
most.
to.
I think it will eventually, but I think those two are the most like disconnected, like JoJo parts from like the rest of the timeline. Because like Part 1 through 4 is like very interconnected.
Yeah.
But part 5 and 6 are very much in their own thing. Like they're kind of like their own situations, and it's like have just like slight callbacks to what happened previously.
Right.
So that might actually be good to like drag people in to JoJo's, like even if they're just scrolling through Netflix and see new to Netflix, Stone Ocean, like fuck it, I'll try this.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know?
I was actually personally thinking, because you know how I've been stuck at the beginning of Part 3 for how long now?
Yeah.
At least a few months.
Honestly, do not blame me.
So I was
though.
actually
Yeah.
I was
part-
debating
the
skipping
first.
Part 3
Ooh.
and going to Part 4 and 5. I was debating it. I was thinking about
I
it.
think
Finish-
if you're gonna
like-
do anything,
Skip the first half of Part 1, if anything. Like,
I've
like-
already watched full Part 1 and 2. I've watched.
Or
all
sorry,
of
not part 1.
and 2
Sorry.
already.
Skip like I would say like skip episodes like 4 through like. So if we're talking part 3 has 2 parts, right? Okay, that's a little confusing.
yeah,
And
two halves.
is there
It's
12?
season 1 and
Are there
2.
12 or 24 per? I don't remember.
it's 24 per.
So like okay, I would say, you know, if we're just adding it up to 48 here, I would say like you could probably just like watch like the first like 4 episodes of Part 3 and then like watch like the last like I don't know like 12 for part 3.
I mean, like,
I'd say that'd be fair.
I think. Okay, listen. In my personal opinion, you shouldn't skip any of JoJo's.
Yeah, no, I
But
agree,
you're
but if
going
you have to.
if you're gonna skip Part 3, you watch the beginning of Part 3 to get an idea of what's going on.
You just get the
and then you
characters,
s-
like
and-
watch until all the
and then you
characters are
jump-
there.
Yeah,
and
and
then-
then you jump, and then
Yeah.
I would say from there you jump to when they get to Egypt, and then you watch the entirety of like second season of Part.
I would
I
say
think the
I'd say
entire
you
second
jump.
season of Part 3.
I think you jump
Bro.
to where they get to Dio's mansion. Because
Bro,
if you're skipping at that point, you just skip as much as you
no.
can.
Bro, Matt's gonna walk up to it and he's like, "Who the fuck is this dog?"
Who, okay, yeah. Well, the thing is though, is if
like,
he's skipping
really.
the show, right? Like
No. I was debating skipping the whole part only because I feel like Part 4 and 5 I'll really enjoy.
But Part
Part 4 and
Part
5 you
3
will
I don't
enjoy.
get.
Part 4,
Which is I just don't want to go through Part 3 at all. But then I was like, okay, if I'm either gonna do none of it or I'm gonna do all of it. So
Okay.
I won't do like half of a part.
you have to
I'm not
watch all
gonna
of it
do
then.
that.
You can't skip
Okay,
part
if-
3. You cannot skip part 3. Part
Okay,
3 is
okay,
crucial.
okay.
And like
eventually I will watch it all.
okay,
Eventually I
so
will-
so I'm like my brother is like when we were out of town, he like started JoJo's as well. My older brother, not my twin brother.
Oh.
My twin brother's very into anime. But Like very, very, just probably because of me. But so my older brother, so he started JoJo's. I think he's getting through part 1 very slowly right now. Part 1's terrible. Don't get
Fair
me wrong.
enough.
But
Part
you watch
one's
it for the
slow,
memes. Like
yeah.
part 1 probably has like some of the most memes, despite only being like 10 episodes or some shit.
I mean, the
9
fucking
episodes.
like the closing like to be continued thing is its whole
Right.
meme. That was like
That's because
right, like
that's a good
that's
song.
Yeah.
that's like the first meme you see from that show because it's literally the first episode. You get
Right.
the ending, you're like, oh, that's the to be continued meme. Oh.
Yeah. No, I didn't know that was a JoJo's meme until I like was introduced to JoJo's.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
Neither did I. Yeah.
But so
I think yeah, but
she's like slowly getting through JoJo's right now, and I just have to keep like you can do this, man, because it's like I was like, you watch part 1, it's bad. Part 2 is like different and it's okay. Then part 3 is different again, but it's kind of bad until near the end. And then part 4 and 5 is like actually like they all have the memes, right?
Really good.
But like parts
Yeah.
4 and 5 is like actually good television. See, the thing is, parts 1 through 3 is bad television, but parts 4 and 5 is like actually good. You know what I mean? At least that's
like,
how
I
I
think
describe it. At least.
I think at the end of the day, Matt, if you want to just get to the good part of JoJo's and like if you're into it, then like go back and watch the like part 3-ish. I would say you watch part 1
Ooh.
and 2. I would say jump to part 5 and just enjoy part 5 because here's the thing: if you can enjoy part 5, then you'll go back and watch. 3
Okay,
and 4.
Matt, let me just tell you this right now. This guy waited 6
Listen,
months.
listen.
This guy waited 6 months to watch Your Name, okay? Like, are you sure you want to take
Listen,
advice from this
listen.
guy?
Listen, all right. I've already decided I'm either gonna watch none of part 3 or I'm gonna watch all of it. And if you're insisting that I watch even a part of it, then I will watch all of it. I'll suck it up, and I'll do it eventually.
If you do
Eventually,
it
over a
before
long
part
period of
6,
time,
if you do it before part 6, then whatever. You know, it's fine. I think.
All right.
Take your
no,
time.
I-
Take your
what's
time. It's pretty fucking like formulaic and pretty like boring. So take your time.
It's pretty monster of the week. By the way, Knows Me fans, what's your favorite tarot card? Very important, actually.
Okay. Well, all right. So recently, I did a little bit of research into tarot, just a tiny bit.
Why?
Or tarot, however you want to call it.
Don't
A
tell me
tiny
it was for
bit.
Nose of Me. Don't tell. Was it actually?
No, it wasn't
Okay.
from Nose Me.
Okay.
It wasn't because of
That's what-
Nose Me.
Oh, man.
A tiny bit. The one that immediately stuck out to me was the Hermit.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay. Well, guess
Hermit
Joseph.
Okay, so yeah, I was about to make a joke. I'm not that
Yeah,
type of
yeah,
JoJo's
yeah, I
fan
know,
anymore. I'm not that type of JoJo's fan anymore.
What,
I've grown up.
Kono Kyoda, huh?
That's comedy right there. No, I've grown up, guys. I've grown up. I swear. Okay, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say
I
it.
always liked Joseph anyways. I like
Oh wait,
Joseph's
who
good.
who doesn't like Joseph? I don't know how you couldn't like Joseph.
That's what I mean. I love Joseph. I love that guy.
Yeah, he's
Like, what a
funny.
guy.
He's funny, and this is the catch. He actually matters in a plot like storytelling sense, which is never
It's actually
happens
important.
because normally the comic relief character has no relevance to the story, and ironically
Right,
enough,
like-
it's the rest of the characters that have no relevance to the story.
Speedwagon.
Oh no, okay. You know what?
Okay,
we do
now
not
let's
accept.
see, like,
We do
how
not. We do
relevant
not
is-
accept.
How relevant
Okay.
actually is he?
No, he is. He's the narrator.
Actually,
He's the
no.
narrator of the show. What do you mean? For parts 1 and 2, he's the
Right.
narrator of the show. Do not. Okay, but
He is very
Well,
important.
in all-
I forgot a whole bunch.
look, we do
I
not
forgot
accept
a whole
speed.
bunch.
No. Okay, I just want to make this
I
clear.
fucking love Speedwagon. I love that.
Everyone, shut up. Okay, I just want to make this very clear. All right, we all love Speedwagon. We do not accept Speedwagon slander in this podcast. Okay, I just want to make that
think-
very clear.
Matt,
I'm sorry. I just
I
had
can
to. I just had to
understand-
get that out. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I can understand why you wouldn't like Speedwagon. Or you wouldn't think
No,
he's
I love
important.
Speedwagon.
We all love
Dislike
Speedwagon.
him.
Okay.
I don't dislike
But,
him.
but what he does in part 1 and 2 is kind of really important for part 3. The whole Speedwagon Foundation is
That's
kind of like
okay.
Oh.
You're
kind of
pushing
pretty
it there.
important.
No, not really. You're kind of pushing it.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I just feel like he didn't do a whole lot.
He
you know?
didn't.
Like,
That's because he
like,
didn't do anything. He was
Right?
the
That's what I
narrator.
thought.
He was the
That's what I
narrator.
thought.
Yeah,
I
no.
was like, he doesn't do anything, so he's not that important, is
He's
he?
the-
But he actually, he is. He is.
He's the narrator.
If you
that's
didn't
all.
have him as the narrator, there would be something missing.
No, that's true. That's honestly true. That's honestly true though. Like if he wasn't the narrator, like JoJo's would not be the same. Like parts 1 and 2. Like
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
parts
that's
1 and 2
understandable.
without Speedwagon, right? Parts 1 and 2 is like a meme because you have Joseph for part 2, but for part 1, like is a meme because Speedwagon's there. But then without Speedwagon, it's just bad television and that's it. You know?
Who's a funny character? Zappelli, maybe?
No.
Zappelli's not even that funny.
Zappelli's
honestly.
okay. I mean, I didn't think he was particularly interesting, honestly.
I don't. Yeah,
Didn't really
I
care.
don't think he was that funny. Like, what the fuck did he?
Not funny. Not funny
Yeah,
at all.
that's
He
what I'm
wasn't
saying.
a character. He was,
He broke a rock in half through a frog. That's what he did.
wow.
And he
cool.
said
Good
hey
job.
he said hey baby one time, but that's it.
That is true. All right, I'm done with my stuff.
Okay.
Who's next?
Okay. Oh, should I random generator again?
Mhm.
It's me.
Oh boy,
It's my turn.
Oh boy.
Okay, so one of my physical things, I was gonna grab my Haikyuu figure, but I figured I can just use my tattoo as my token Haikyuu.
Did you guys see what he did there? You guys see what he did there? He figured he. Oh, that's I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Joke.
I see what you did
Funny
there.
guy.
It's a funny guy.
Funny
Okay.
guy.
I'm sorry.
Anyways,
Alex is
I
like, I'm
figured I'd
done
use
with this shit. Alex is like, fuck these fucking kids.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
So, anyways, I'm pretty sure I've explained this before, but this is the fly high from Karasuno's like team banner.
Oh
thing.
yeah.
I literally ripped it straight from there. So it's a reference to both Haikyuu and also I just like the message of fly high because it's like, you know, it's like always do your best, like, you know, shoot to the top, try to, you know, like it's like it's like an encouraging notion, right?
Yeah,
so I liked it a lot, and I was like, it's a good reference to Haikyuu. I'm getting a tattoo of it. So yeah,
that's
a simple
honestly
explanation
a
for
really
that.
sick like if I feel like that's like subtle, you know, enough. It's
It's
not
like nobody would understand it's from an anime. I just whenever people ask me what it is, I'm like, oh yeah, it says fly high.
yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, cool." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "That's it.
I
I don't have to explain the anime part to it if I don't have to. If I don't want to."
Yeah, it's not like you don't. It's not like you have a fucking anime character on your arm or some shit. Like I think that's like really
Yeah.
like if I were to do a tattoo, which I will probably never will, but I do something along the lines of that where it's like
I highly recommend it.
I mean I know a lot of people that have tattoos, but I don't know. I just don't see myself ever being like.
They're addicting.
I know because they're always talking about
want-
like
I
they're
want
like what should I
another
get
one, like,
next?
now.
They're always like what should I?
I want another one like now. I'm getting the itches, dude.
I've thought about getting one. I think I might get one soon. Honestly,
Yeah.
I already know what I'm gonna get. I'll show you guys after the call.
Okay.
After we're done this, but like I kind of got an idea on what I want.
Any tattoo talk, let me know.
I
love
will,
talking
I will.
about them. It's very fun.
Okay. Okay.
So, but yeah, like anyway, like yeah, like that's the thing is like it's like super subtle. I don't have to mention the whole anime thing if I don't want to. Like if it's somebody I don't really know particularly well, and like, oh, what does that tattoo say? I'm like, oh, it means fly high, and you know I like that message. I think it's really encouraging. And they're like, oh, cool, nice, that's it. Conversation over.
is
but
it-
if somebody I actually know, I'll be like, oh yeah, it's also from an anime that I like, and you know,
Yeah.
it's like an extra.
Has there
nod to
been
that.
anyone that like watches Haikyuu is like, yo, is that fly high or no?
No, I've never had anybody like recognize it yet.
Okay,
Not
okay.
yet. I've only had it for 8 months, so
Yeah.
it's not been particularly
True.
long.
Probably
so.
not going out quite as often as one might normally.
No, I don't go out
So-
very often either, right? So that's also a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was one of them. And then I also wanted to just show off my Yoshiko figure because
He
I
took
got
it out
that-
of the box.
I got all of my figures like a couple weeks ago. They all came in.
Uh-huh.
I went back to visit my parents, and they're all at my mom's house. I'm waiting until I move to get my other 6, but I do have my Yoshiko one, and my Hinata one is up here. So yeah, Yoshiko is my favorite girl from Love Live.
If you guys didn't see this is
Hell
a
of a
plug by the
character.
way. If you guys didn't see the tier list, Matt highly vouches for Yoshiko. That is in,
yeah.
if I recall, was that episode 7 or 8?
That was
Bak-
2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
8.
I think it was
Baccano.
8, yeah.
Baccano episode. We talk about Baccano and we make a Love Live tier list. Check it out. Okay. Sorry, I just had to plug
Do
there.
do that.
But that's
Do that.
That's a cool figure. I was thinking, spoiler alert, I was thinking about sharing a figure, but I was like, both of you guys have figures. I already know what the fuck you guys are gonna present. So I
Yeah.
was like,
Well, I mean, I do have
I
my
should do a
Hinata one.
figure.
Like, I can just like turn my camera around. There he is. He's just hanging out on top of my computer.
yeah. That one's cool.
So yeah. She normally goes up on my dresser up in that corner is where she normally sits. And then yeah, if anybody hasn't noticed yet, I do have my Yukihira Diner t-shirt on. So
Is that a Food Wars thing?
This is Food Wars.
Okay.
I love me some Food Wars. It's kind of it's one of the shows that got me like back into anime last or 2 years ago, 2019. Because I think I watched it. I want to watch. I think I want to say I want to watch it in like maybe like November, December 2019. Back when season 4 was only out, season 5 hadn't come out yet. Which season 5 isn't as good anyways. But season 1
I've heard
through 4
towards the
are
tail
all
end,
really good.
Shokugeki was kind of getting meh. But
Yeah, it's season 5. Like I didn't dislike season 5 as much as a lot of people did. I thought it was still pretty good, but I mean, I'm just a big Food Wars simp. I fucking love that show.
Yeah.
It's like it's well done shonen, number one. Like it's a good shonen show. It has lots of hype. It's got like, like cool characters that all have like their own like thing, and it's like it's cool. And also I don't know, sometimes the food, like being around naked women and stuff like that, sometimes it's a little uncomfortable, but most of the time it's just funny, so it's okay.
okay.
Most of the time it's like comedic. Like honestly, I don't go there to watch the show for that. It's just something that I think is funny that's part of the show.
Yeah, it's
I'm
very
like,
that sounds very
I got-
anime. Like honestly.
Like it's definitely very anime, and like it's funny. So I'm like, all right, it's part of the show. Not everybody will like it. People get turned off by that. Like they'll be like, oh, there's like way too much like weird, like almost hentai stuff in here, and I'm like, yeah, but that's like just anime, right? Like it's not that bad. Like, It's just watch it, laugh at it, and move on.
We were in the call today, right? Like when because I was like waiting for my dad to get out or whatever, and like you guys were talking about like No Game in the Life, and you're like, oh, the little sus part or whatever, and it was like with the sister, and I was just like, man, like that's like not like out of like
It wasn't
that's so
bad.
anime. That's the thing.
It's kind of uncomfortable at some points though. Like
it is. No, don't get me wrong.
At some points, but it's like not so bad.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that like we should be normalizing that shit. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Yeah.
I just want to make that very clear. But I'm just saying that like if that part like makes you uncomfortable, then like I like theoretically like so should every other like kind of like fucking like okay, I haven't seen Monogatari, but like it looks like that shit is like sus as fuck too, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
He's like yes. So like I think so I think it's very much like just an anime thing. Like I'm not gonna like fucking No Game No Life trash. That shit is fuck incest shit. Fuck that shit. That shit is
cringe.
Yeah, the rest of that shit. The rest of the other shows are fine. No Game No Life. No. I'm not like I don't know, man. I think it's a kind of like the standard thing where like or like a I don't know if I'm using the proper term, like double standards, where it's like you gotta hold the other shows that same standard. Then like ew, like you gotta say ew incest to all of the shows, not just So
I mean, to be fair, most of the time it does very much unsettle me all the time.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm
Domestic Girlfriend
saying.
Was a nightmare to watch.
That's what I'm saying.
Even though it's like, oh, we're all step siblings. It's like, but it's still weird.
Okay, but don't shit on Domestic Girlfriend.
Domestic Girlfriend. Okay, I'm gonna say this. Domestic Girlfriend is different because they just met. Okay. That is different. No Game No Life, they actually grew up together. That is fucking weird. That is fucking weird. You can't grow up with someone and then be like, okay.
You know what's the worst offender though is fucking Irregular at Magic High School. That's by far the worst offender of incest shit I've seen in anime.
I didn't know that
shit
was
is
like
fucking
shit.
weird.
Okay.
It is so
Okay,
fucking
we'll
weird.
just
I
admit,
hate it.
we'll move on because I don't think we should, we'll just say all incest is weird, okay? We can all agree on that at the very least, that all incest is weird, right?
It's anyways, we'll move on from that.
Okay.
Anyways,
Okay.
point is, I love Food Wars.
Okay.
That's it. That's the point.
Wait, how did we get from I love Food
like
Wars
the shirt.
to incest?
I don't know. Anyways.
Okay.
Okay, and the last thing I sent it to Ryan so he can bring it up.
So
it's just a piece of art, and it's my boy Astolfo, because goddamn do I love femboy characters.
Okay,
They're
I
like
guess I should
my
send
thing.
this. I really should send this to Alex. Matt, can you send it to Alex right now?
I
have
can
it.
I can definitely send it to
Okay,
Alex.
I'm doing the
right
display
now.
capture
I'll put
right
it-
now, so I won't be able to move anything. But
Okay.
I saw this
but
shit.
yeah.
I downloaded it because I just wanted to pull it up in my photos instead of like opening it through the Discord, and I was just like,
yeah.
literally Vietnam flashbacks to your tweet the other day. I was like, what am I reading?
It's just my boy Astolfo being a fucking king. Cause look at that motherfucker. I love him. I love trap characters, which is part of the reason why I want to watch Sidem Idolmaster with Alex, because I've discovered that there is a very attractive femboy character in that show, and I want to see him exist.
Oh man.
So, anyways,
Okay,
that's my thing on femboys.
I bet. So then it's safe to assume you're a Saika Totsuka fan as well.
Absolutely,
Of course.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not everybody knows this, but I can just grab it real quick. It's literally right here. I've tried my hand at doing the whole femboy thing. I have a skirt. It looks good on me. I'll be honest.
Okay.
It does actually.
It looks good. It looks good on him.
Okay.
He rocks.
I guess Alex
rocks
is
it.
Alex is
I-
vouching.
I have
I've
photos,
I've
but
seen
I
it
don't really
multiple
want to
times.
disclose them publicly.
Yeah,
That's it.
I'd say that's probably for the best.
He's worn the skirt around me in person.
In person, I did it. I brought it to his house, and
Oh
I
my
wore
God.
it in front of
How
everybody.
much did you guys have to drink that day? I wonder.
I didn't
Not even
drink
that
anything,
much
and
that day. That day, it was a very light day.
Wasn't that the weed day?
Yeah, so I was a little bit
the
high, but
the
like,
weed
that was
day.
all.
Okay. Okay.
All right,
well,
what you got?
thank you for
Anyways, I love femboys. I like to dress up effeminately sometimes.
sharing. Actually,
Yeah, that's my thing. Anyways, I love Astolfo. I love femboy characters.
Actually,
Venti from Genshin Impact. Looking at you. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Anyways,
Thank you.
Alright,
Thank you for
I'm
sharing.
done.
All right. So
I'm done.
I guess I can't really link this to you guys right now, or maybe you know what? Maybe should I do it through Twitter? No. Can you just look up a YouTube channel called Hiding in Public, for me, please?
Absolutely. I've watched his videos before.
Yes. So
Okay.
I'll just start with the digital piece, just because I'm having you guys pull it up right now. But
Yeah.
I enjoy like writing and like making like anime like based like video essays or whatnot. It's
Yep.
it's a very like cathartic like outlet for me, and also like the process of making the videos too was like always like a good time, because I feel like I don't know, like when I'm in control of just making something, you know, just like editing in general, or like I don't know, Photoshop, or just anything in general, like creative stuff. And I don't know, it's like so much fun. I love it. And like what like my like most recent video essay, that one, like I literally just sat in a chair and was like editing from 8 o'clock to 4 a.m. just a straight 8 hours just editing. It's a good time though, like honestly. And so like I got the idea not only of just making the essays in general, but also I think like the awareness like of like how a show can influence me, I think was brought on by this channel. And I think like you know, I don't watch so much of his videos now, just like not because like I think they're bad or like they're boring or like they don't interest me or anything like that. It's more just like like you know, I don't want like, I mean, yeah, it's for like personal reasons, I guess, but pretty much like the videos, like yeah, it pretty much kind of like brought me that awareness of like, oh hey, like this show is like actually like changing like how I see shit, you know what I mean? And like
It opens your eyes to like the deeper parts that you can get out of shows. I
exactly. And so because I felt like I just never, for one, like yeah, it like I never really like kind of realized like shows that were like changing me. And so like I just wasn't really thinking about it, you know, because like also like for them, like before I watched anime, like all the shows that I watched, I was watching like the same shows over and over again. It was just like Archer, Rick and Morty, South Park, all these like comedy shows and shit, you know. Yeah, I don't know, and like watching this was like, because when I watched anime, I feel like it was changing me, like not just in the same way of like making me some fucking weeb, but also just like you know, how I reacted to like situations, or just how I like my outlook, and just a lot of different things. And I feel like this kind of like helped me realize like, oh shit, like, you know, this is like how anime or like these specific shows are influencing me, and also to a degree has also influenced how I look at shows as well. But so like you know, yeah, a lot of inspiration coming from this as well. And
I love hiding in public. What a guy.
yeah, yep. I remember he hit 100K, and then he also did like the face reveal and all that stuff. But yeah, you know, it's great channel. Highly recommend.
I would say that I've never seen one of his videos, but when I went through, I saw his Nagatoro video, and I realized that I watched that and I really liked it. And I have not seen anything else from him.
Yeah. And you know, he's not the only like video essay channel out there, right? But
of course,
yeah, he is the first one that I've watched. So so yeah, that is my digital content. And for my other pieces of content, which one do I want to start with first? I'll start with the easy one here. So this is a manga, right? I actually got this last week when I was we were shopping at the mall or whatever, and you know, I had to like get a lot of clothes and stuff, but like I wanted to wait till like after lunch because it was a lot of shit and I didn't want to carry bags all day. And so I had to like wait till my family was like ready to eat lunch, and so I was like, well fuck, I need like time to kill. Went to the Barnes and Noble in the mall and was like, I'm looking for something good to read, man, you know? And the one that I ended up finding was The God's Lie. I guess it's inverse, so you guys can't really see that, but that's how it's spelled.
We can see it.
We can, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can read backwards. It's okay.
so yeah, like it's just one. Like part of the reason why I got it too is it's just one volume. Because you know, I don't think I'm quite ready to like fully commit to like reading a long form manga yet. If I do, by the way, it's going to be Oyasumi Pun Pun, but that's like for another day. And you know, honestly, it was like that. First of all, I have all this manga in my room, right? I have After the Rain, A Silent Voice, ReZero, Tokyo Ghoul, JoJo's, Oregairu, fucking Evangelion, Buddy Girl Senpai. I have all this fucking manga. I never read it. Never. I was just like, it's there's props.
Man.
They're just props, man.
They're props to express your love for the show, without having to read the source material.
Exactly.
Like, I was actually thinking of doing the same thing, where I was gonna buy like, you know, like some of the volumes of Haikyuu because I want to have them to like, you know, I like the look of books on a shelf.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a good cosmetic look.
Yeah.
And like, you know, it's a series I like, so why wouldn't I buy some manga volumes and just have them on display? I may never read them, but they're there because I like the show. And I liked something about, you know, that whole franchise. So clearly, you know, it's there to cosmetically be appealing, but also to show that, you know, I like that series.
Yeah, that, and so same case with me for all that manga. And so, but this one, because we spent a lot of time at the beach when I was in Hawaii, and the other alternative book that I had been trying to read throughout the trip was this book called The Design of Everyday Things. And holy God, that was a snoozer. Just he just goes from like, don't get me wrong, I'm learning because it's like from my school they sent me the book. They didn't tell me to read it, but I was like, I probably should read this because I'm going to comp sci shit, and so that's why it's The Design of Everyday Things, and it's supposedly a famous book too. That's what my brother said. But yeah, he talks about a lot of like design principles and stuff. I'm not gonna get into that shit, but it was like, he just goes from principle to principle, and there's like no continuity, or there is, but it's like really, I don't know. It's so fucking boring, man. Oh my God. So like I'm like 200 pages into that book, and you know, like for example, it took me like an hour 30 to read like 50 pages or some shit. I was like, oh my God, it's so boring. And I read this all in one sitting in like an hour or two, like 1 to 2 hours. It was good. Had a good time with it. But yeah, it's the first physical piece of manga that I read right at the beach. It was you know, somebody like, you could tell that it was a little bit rushed just because it's one volume, right? Or like one book, right? But honestly, for the time it had, it was good. It was good, honestly. I would recommend it. Honestly, very.
Is it a one shot?
Yeah.
Is it a one shot, or is it like the beginning of a
No,
series?
one shot. Sorry, one shot.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I would recommend it. You know, it doesn't do anything like spectacular, you know, but it's like or like it doesn't like reinvent the wheel, I should say. But you know, it's a good time. It's a good time. I would recommend it for people that want a cute little romance that's also very low commitment and stuff. So
That sounds like a fun idea of going out and just trying to find like an underground manga of some sort and reading it. Because like honestly, like finding that gem in the rough would be really really cool.
I mean, you're not gonna find that at a Barnes and Noble, but yeah,
Of course.
So, but yeah, I enjoyed the read.
I don't know what a Barnes and Noble is, by the way. That sounds just, I think it's just
It's
an
like
American thing.
it's like the American version of Kohl's.
Oh, yeah, it's a bookstore. So
Gotcha.
yeah. I did not know you guys did not have Barnes and Nobles there. Okay.
I do not have those.
Okay.
Well, maybe Toronto might.
Probably.
If anywhere does that. If anywhere does Toronto,
Yeah.
well, but that's it.
Yeah. And then the other one I was going to share is this little guy here. Not for what precisely it is, because I got this when I was in 6th grade, and it had no meaning to me in the sense of like, you know, I probably thought it looked cool or something, but it wasn't like a you know, I didn't care about like it's like a little dragon inside. I didn't care about that shit. It was so I got this so I was in 6th grade when we visited Japan with my family, because my brother wanted to go there for a senior trip, and really sucks because I really didn't give a fuck back then, and you know, I really just can't appreciate all the shit that we did, you know, like and to be fair too, not all the stuff that we did would be for me as well, but you know, that is a bit of a shame. But one of the things that I do remember and also had like a great time with was when we were in Kyoto. We went to this deer park. Maybe you guys have heard of this before. It's pretty popular, pretty famous. And also, like, there's just like this huge ass temple too, which, you know, you see a million temples, but that one was actually pretty cool because of just how big it was. And yeah, it's inside this deer park where they feed, like, you like buy these crackers and shit, and you hold it, you know, it's like you're feeding a dog, and it, like, the deers, they, like, dip their heads and shit, you know? And, like, that's, like, they're bowing, and then you feed them and shit. It's like
hey,
really...
Matt, you ever been to Marine Land?
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, so Marine Land?
At a deer park, though. It's a deer park. Like, you don't see...
there's a deer park
there's a deer
in
park
Marine
in-
Land.
Okay, whatever. Well, that was like one of the coolest things, because I don't know what the fuck Marine Land is, but that was like one of the coolest like things that like I did over there, and like, yeah, for all the things that I did in Japan when I was there, like, honestly, it sucks that like I didn't get to appreciate it back then, because like now that's like all I want to do, and but yeah, out of all the things that I did in Japan, that was like one of the things that I remembered most. Also, like, my brother like didn't have any more, and then like the deer was like bowing and was like getting annoyed and shit, and like nipped at him or some shit. I don't remember. Like, grabbed his shirt or some shit. That was funny.
Deers over here do one of three things: walk around aimlessly and get hit by cars, or get eaten. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, same here.
Mainly
There's like always deer.
right?
There's like always deer in my
I-
yard where I live. But yeah, that's my show and tell. That was a kind of a long segment, but you know. So thank you everyone for sharing. But this is a Common Grounds episode after all, and you know, we did watch Hyouka, and we didn't talk about it last week, but now we are afforded the opportunity of doing so. As some of you may know, in the first episode we presented 3x3s, and Hyouka was in my 3x3, so it matters a lot to me, and I really love the show. But, you know, Matt and Alex, I don't believe you guys have seen Hyouka before. Correct me if I'm wrong. Before this.
No.
So, we'll start with the ratings, I guess. That's an easy way to do it. As you guys may know, on my mall it's a 10, so
yeah.
I don't need to say anything more. But
I want to know what Matt rated it. That's what I want to know.
yeah,
Give it a 7.
I figured you guys didn't sound crazy about it. What about you?
I need to check because for some reason I can't find it, but I think
I gave it okay.
I feel like me and Matt have very different. Me and Matt have very different tastes.
I gave it an 8 originally, and then I looked at my other 8s, and I thought about how impactful Hyouka was in comparison to the other 8s I have, and I just thought, I don't think that this quite matches up to the rest of my 8s. It didn't seem right to me.
That makes sense. Like I do that a lot too when I look at my malls.
All right.
Because like originally I was like, this is really good. I liked this. It was really good. I enjoyed it. I watched the whole thing, no problem. I didn't have any issues finishing it or anything like that. I was like, no, I enjoyed it the whole way through. But yeah, I don't know. I felt like it didn't really match up with the rest of my eights.
All right, so now imagine everything that Matt just said, and now imagine that I just said that because I literally everything Matt said, I could literally like bump. I just retweet what Matt said. Honestly,
Okay.
I gave it a 7. I thought it had no complaints. I just didn't think it was on the same level as my 8s. I thought 7 was a good point. That's it.
Okay. Well, okay. Good. Can someone care like to elaborate here? Tell me about the show. Tell me what you guys like.
Absolutely, I will elaborate.
Okay.
Um,
So like, what do you think of the characters, the arcs? You know.
my biggest thing with the show was that like it was really good at certain points where they had stuff actually going on.
Yeah.
The rest of it was a very underwhelming slice of life to me. I felt like all of the points where there wasn't like an arc, like dude, the movie arc was great.
Yeah.
The school festival arc was great.
Right.
I loved both of those arcs. If they were the whole show, it would be an 8. It would definitely be an 8.
Yeah.
Maybe even a 9. But the in-betweens and before and after was very just underwhelming to me. It was like, all right, I guess this is cute. I don't dislike it. I'll watch it. I'm enjoying myself. But it's something special. I was like, I don't know. It's just like, 4 high school kids going about their time in high school in a club, solving some problems. Like, okay, actually, the first few episodes where they have like those episodic mysteries they solve.
Yeah.
I liked those ones. That was entertaining.
Really?
But the part between the was it fuck? I think it was right after, immediately following the school festival. Like, basically from the end of the school festival arc to the end of the show,
Yeah.
I thought was very meh. It was very just like, this is cute. There's nothing, like, interesting about this anymore. It's just more of the same, it feels like, and not really anything, like, overly interesting. Like, at least, like, when the school festival and the movie arc, they had, like, cool mysteries to, like, try and solve, and it took multiple episodes.
Right.
And I was like, this is cool. I thought the anthology part was pretty cool. I enjoyed the anthology, little anthology arc, I guess you can call it, at the beginning, like closer to the beginning. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great, but I really enjoyed the movie and the school festival. And then, like, at the very end, like, the last episode, I finished last episode and I was like, that's it?
Okay. Yeah.
It's over?
We were gonna talk about the ending in a bit.
Like, I just because it's supposed to be like a first season of more story, right? It's supposed to be more after.
Okay, so technically there is like very like a couple like volumes or chapters. I don't know what the fuck to call them. Like 2 or 3 more like after the anime ends.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure there's more because I looked it up because that's why I was like after I finished it I was like, oh, that's it. I was like, there's got to be like there's supposed to be, like there's no way this is how they just end it, right? Like this is so unsatisfying to me. I was just incredibly unsatisfied with that ending because like the whole scene where Oreki and Chitanda are like by the sakura tree and like he has an opportunity to like say like, oh, why don't you just let me take care of it? Like that whole scene, I was like, oh, that's so cute. Like that's so awesome. And then it's like, oh, it didn't actually happen though, lol. And I'm like, huh?
Okay, yeah. Like
what do you mean?
Like I understand that. Like to be like, and I don't see a reason why I mean, I guess like to stay true to the source material, because to my understanding, later in the light novel, he does like confess or whatever the fuck. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't really see a reason why they shouldn't just have him say that, just because when the anime's ending.
Why would they not just do
because I mean, it's meant to like technically like if the anime were to continue onward and finish with the light novel, like that would like be like the sign that his mindset has changed, right, from his gray boring life to the rose colored, right?
That's the thing is I thought that was already complete. Like it seemed to me like he was pretty much already there, and that was like the last step.
And that's actually one of the criticisms that I do give it is that like that like there were especially like with what's his face, Oreki and Fukabe's like conversations and stuff, which by the way were like some of the best conversations in the show, like very informative, very entertaining, very I don't know, just well written. And like during those conversations, like Oreki like explicitly states like, oh, I'm like You know, maybe a rose-colored life isn't that bad, or whatever. And you know,
Right.
like they would like build up to that, but then like later on in the series, they do. He sounds like adamant on like no, I'm energy conserving and stuff. I'm like why are you going back on it? Like that is one of the criticisms that I do give it, and that is, you know, pretty frustrating sometimes. Because
What it?
especially since like because like this is my third time watching it, right? And like now, like I don't really focus on the mysteries themselves anymore. It's more of like I love seeing the character arcs kind of unfold and like the early hints going on earlier in the show. And actually, when you said that the tail end of the show is your least favorite part and the beginning you really liked, I was just like, man, like that beginning for me was like probably like the worst part of the show. Don't get me wrong, the movie and the you know, the festival Bunkasai festival, grand time. That was so much fun. But yeah, I loved the ending too. Or not the ending itself. I liked the ending. Don't get me wrong. But like the tail end of the show, like especially with like the Valentine's chocolates and shit, like I felt like those episodes were like some of the best, like better episodes.
I'm
the
gonna have to
show.
disagree with you. I think that the whole Valentine's episode, it tried really hard to push like. I understand like it tried really hard to push Fukabe and Mayaka as like a couple, or like
No, that wasn't.
whatever.
No, that wasn't.
there, though,
That
I
had
don't
nothing to
think.
do with
But,
Mayaka.
like-
That had nothing to do. It was all about Fukabe. Because you're seeing this build up.
get it.
Like from my perspective, since I'm focusing purely on the character arcs, I'm seeing this build up of like early on in the show where Fukabe is like saying shit like, you know, databases can't make conclusions, and he's like, you know, it's like from the start of his inferiority complex, like you're seeing it like build up, and you know he's talking about it more and more, and like at the end of the festival arc where he's like talking about it with Mayaka, kind of like almost like he's like implying it, but he never explicitly says it, and then it's like it kind of like all comes into fruition with this like Valentine's Day thing where it's like so bloody apparent, you know, like that is like that like I think that was like the best episode for me of the series, you know, and like I don't know, like focusing on those character arcs and stuff was like, and you know the mysteries themselves are like entertaining on their own, but watching it from like a character arc perspective and stuff was you know, it's always a grand time, I guess. I don't know. I really liked the tail end of the show.
Shit. That movie shit was amazing. I think that might be one of like my favorite
yeah.
arcs in any
really
anime
liked the
I've
movie
seen,
arc,
because
yeah.
it was the whole idea of, all right, cool. Here's a movie, kind of shit movie, but here's a movie. You should be able to figure out who it is by now. Figure it out. And even and there's just like them over 3 or 4 episodes trying to figure out, all right, cool. Let's take all of our context clues, everybody who worked on this. What do we think a conclusion is when there really wasn't one? And then even at the end of it, where there's like, oh yeah, we didn't even involve the rope in our solution.
Yeah.
So we're probably wrong.
That
The
okay.
fact that they
That
didn't
mystery
even
was really good.
solve
I'll
the
admit
mystery?
that mystery was a banger. Like,
Well,
but-
and like the whole thing at the very end where it's like, so I don't think they ever actually explicitly say the fuck, what's her name? The
Orisu?
character that they refer to as the Empress,
oh,
Oh yeah, Ibisu.
Orisu?
Ibisu, Arisu.
Ibisu.
I don't know. It's something like that. It's but anyways, her yeah, Ibisu. Okay, yeah, her character is, I liked her character the most out of all of them, honestly, because like they never say like who she's speaking to online at the very end of that arc.
Yeah.
You know, when they're talking on like the messenger or whatever, like the messenger app or whatever it is.
Right.
My theory there is that she's actually talking to Oreki's older sister. That's what my theory was. I couldn't tell you why I think that. I honestly, like, it seems like that because of the way that character, like that person, that anonymous person, refers to Oreki, like when they're talking to each other. Because there's like a line where they say something like oh, and that, you know, that idiot would never really understand. Like he probably didn't even get that point, because she's talking about how, you know, Ibisu thought that the movie actually was just kind of shit and she wanted it rewritten. So she found a way to let the actual writer bow out of it and not have to take any hits, but also to find a way to make somebody else write an ending that was better than what she was going to write in the first place.
Right.
It was like this whole like social engineering thing that I fucking loved. I loved that arc for that character because of how interesting the whole like social engineering aspect was. Like that she was able to manipulate every character into doing exactly what she wanted.
That like the movie arc was like probably the best arc of the show, like as a whole, like for mysteries and like character development too. Okay, so right, because like you guys were talking about like the mystery and stuff, right? And but see, like from my perspective, right, I'm watching the show and like the way I see that arc is like, you know, you're in the first half of the show, you're seeing Areki like solve all these mysteries. This guy seems fucking invincible. This guy's on a roll, right? And and you know, he thinks he has it like with this movie shit, right? He's like, oh, I got it. Like this is it. And then his confidence, like even like Orisu, like or Ebisu, whatever the fuck, I don't know, like she hypes him up too, right? She's like, you're the one. I chose you. You know, I wanted you from the beginning. You know, and
Irisu.
Yeah, Irisu. Yeah, and so he's got this like ego now. You know, he's like, oh yeah, like I can do it. And then it's shattered completely when he fucks up this mystery, right?
When he realizes I didn't even use the fucking rope. I'm probably wrong. What the fuck?
Well, yeah, because because before that arc, right after the initial like when he was like the Sekitani Jun thing, he was like, oh, maybe that's when he was like, oh, maybe a rose-colored life isn't that bad, right? That's when he said that to Fukabe like explicitly, and so like, you know, that's where he's starting to get into it, and then that is all put to a halt because he's like, fuck it, like fuck the rose-colored life, that shit, because he's like, you know, he gets fucking scarred, he gets hit with the trauma by that movie thing, because he's like, fuck, like I messed that up. I don't want to mess that shit up ever again and shit. Like that's why I wanted you guys to watch the OVA, because that's like, you know, he was like super depressed and shit. Like I felt like the regular show on its own didn't do it quite justice as to how much that affected him, like the movie arc, as like and his confidence and stuff, you know. And it was really cool seeing also just like the regular characters, like, you know, pick him back up and stuff, you know, like Mayaka and all those other people.
That makes a lot more sense now then. Because originally when I watched the movie arc and then you said, okay, watch the OVA after the movie arc, but it's before the festival arc, and I was like, okay, I guess that just like that's just how it's supposed to be watched, right? Yeah. I'll do it. And when I watched it originally, I was like, because they didn't make it very clear how hard that hit him in the last episode of the movie arc, I didn't understand why he was so, like, why he regressed so much in the OVA. And I was just like, what the fuck was the point of this OVA?
Yeah.
Like this doesn't make any sense. Why is he regressed like this? It doesn't make any sense. So that makes sense now that you say that. I'm like, oh yeah, that does make perfect sense. Yeah. They probably just didn't explain how hard that really hit him.
They really didn't do it justice. They really didn't do it justice. But the OVA makes sense now, right? It makes it better, right? That is why I think that OVA is the highest rated OVA on my mall, because it actually has plot context, which is out of pocket for an OVA. You know,
it's going up a point. It's going up to an 8. That OVA is going up.
Let's go.
To an 8.
Let's go.
Because I never thought of that. I honestly never thought of that.
That's again, that's out of pocket for an OVA. OVAs don't normally do that, but you know what? We accept it. You know.
I thought that the OVA was mainly used because I was like, after I finished watching, all right, cool. What did the OVA show me that wasn't introduced already? And I just kind of like brushed off fucking Oreki being depressed as being like, oh god, he's just really this lazy. Oh fuck, all right, whatever then.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was like again, now that you mention it, I guess that does make sense of him like taking the hit from the movie stuff.
They don't really explain it, right? Like, it's,
yeah, no, they don't. They really don't do it justice at the end of that movie arc episode.
I think at the end of the day, the thing that what I took out of the OVA was the introduction of his sister like back into his life.
Yeah, that was also a thing. Yeah,
because I realized like, oh shit, because like after I watched the first episode of the festival arc, I'm like, I was sitting there like, oh. If I just didn't watch the OVA, then I'd be like, who's this bitch? What's she doing here? And then I realized, oh, I guess it's her sister, but like I thought she was like in Bangladesh or some shit.
She was somewhere not anywhere nearby.
Yeah,
at least
very far away.
And this just shows like she's like in the OVA, she's like, oh yeah, I'm back. By the way, you want to work at a pool?
Yeah.
It was a little random, but eh.
Yeah. So I mean,
It's
yeah,
fine.
I hope that context helps you. I didn't want to like say that until we had the podcast or whatever, but I hope that adds some context to
It
the
does.
OVA.
That's the thing, though, is that makes it kind of like the OVA definitely like is better for that point. But I think that honestly knocks the show down a bit
Because it didn't show that
because
properly.
why didn't they explain that? Like, why did they leave such an important piece of how fucking depressed he was out of the show?
Well, they did. They just didn't do it well enough, I think.
They didn't do it justice. Yeah, because I didn't understand. Right, I was like, he doesn't like. He seems like he's down about it. Like he seems upset. But it seemed like it was something that was easily recoverable from because they didn't make it seem as bad as it really was.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that makes sense.
Like it did not appear as bad as it was, or as bad as it was supposed to be. So yeah, honestly, like I feel like that OVA gets a plus for that. The show is not going to go down to a 6. Not even like it's still definitely a 7. But I feel like that actually knocks the show down because
that makes sense.
It's like, why didn't they just do that in the show and not have to use a fucking OVA for it? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me, right? Like, that's like, why wouldn't they just put that in the show?
Yeah, like I agree. Like that's why I was like, you guys watch this OVA because I feel like it's an important part of the show. So.
Yeah, and I'm glad you did because now that makes a lot more sense.
So, okay. Well, I guess Alex, if you care to, do you have anything else to add about Hyouka here? Talk about your experience with it.
Yeah. With Hyouka, I think I kind of enjoyed it for the pure sense, like, I didn't feel like I could just, like, watch one episode and be like, all right, cool, I'm done. Because I felt like a lot of the episodes kind of, like, dragged into each other just a little bit. Like, not enough towards the point where it was, like, apart from, like, some of, like, the arcs where it was, like, oh, this is, like, one out of, like, 3 parts of, like, like, the movie arc or the festival arc where it's, like, one big culminative, like, story, I guess, or, like, one, like, big like mini-series going on. But a lot of them, I feel like it was, like, start the episode, watch a build-up, problem, answer. I felt like a lot of the episodes follow that formula, and I kind of got annoyed at that for a little bit at the beginning because it was like, all right, cool. So I watched the beginning, a bunch of exposition that out of nowhere they decide, yes, it has meaning, and then they have a problem that gets solved by the exposition.
Right. No, I mean that's like. I mean, one, I think that's like standard. That's like standard like mystery format, and like two.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm of the camp that I think the first like few episodes are like the worst part of the series. Not to say that it's terrible, but it's just
the reason why I liked the beginning was because it was a good introduction to the characters to me. I just liked getting to know how those characters behaved in a group. Because it was like, like here's Fukube, here's Oreki, here's Chitanda, here's Mayaka, and this is how they all act in a group of 4.
Right.
And this is their group dynamic. And I liked how it took a couple episodes to establish their group dynamic. And then begin tackling like slightly larger issues and how the different dynamics between the individual characters is also different, right? Like the dynamic between Oreki and Mayaka, for example, and the dynamic between Chitanda and Oreki, and like I liked it. How it was it just felt like a good introduction to all the characters, and I was like, I had fun getting to know all of these characters and how they behave.
I think the characters like are like definitely like the strong suit of this series, I'd say.
They're all likable. They're all very likable.
Okay,
I like all of them.
I will say, speaking of likable characters though, because like when we were watching the show, Alex was like, "Who do you think is my favorite character?" And I was like, "I think I know who it is, but like I don't know why because I don't think there's enough justification because like."
Okay.
Fuck.
Can Matt guess? Do you think
Matt, go ahead and guess. Who do you think Alex's favorite character is?
Mayaka?
Yeah. And I was thinking it's probably Mayaka, but like why? Because at that point too, he had not watched the Bunkasai arc. Right? Which is like her best arc. And I'm like, what reason do you have to like Mayaka at this point? No, seriously.
Okay.
Seriously.
He's really cute. And here's the thing, is that this is the thing that you'll see in a lot of favorite characters in any show I watch, is a character that's not malicious, but can will bite back at the main character, and that I like. I like that a lot.
Just like give people shit. Yeah. I thought she was very fun to watch. I liked her, but she was not my favorite. Dude, I honestly think that Irisu is my favorite character. I fucking love Irisu.
My favorite character. I'm not talking about best girl yet. My favorite character is Fukabe for me. I had a
Fukume
friend.
is really good,
I had a
yeah.
friend that was like, oh yeah, Oreki's my spirit animal or whatever. But like, look, man, I don't know him that that like super close or whatever. But to me, it just sounded like, you know, like the self-insert justification for not doing anything. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, because that's his.
Dude.
Honestly, that's his character archetype.
You should recommend Tanaka-kun is always so listless. You should recommend
Yeah.
him that show because he would love that.
No,
Fucking love that show.
Okay,
It's
no,
good.
seriously though, like Oreki is like low key like the isekai protagonist, where it's like
Yeah.
like
The overpowered isekai
like
protagonist.
edgy and like justification, and like I feel like isekai protagonists are always just like justification for like for like, you know, Yeets to like self-insert themselves into the character and be like, yeah, I didn't do anything, but I can all of a sudden make myself out of something for whatever reason. And you know, I guess that's like fine, but I don't know. I think like it's often used as like an excuse most of the time. I feel like that character
Yeah.
archetype.
I
And
like
so-
Oreki. I thought
No,
he was
I
very
don't get me wrong.
interesting.
I like Oreki. I like all the characters, but I think that's kind of that's like a little bit of its character archetype. And so like when I heard that, I was just like, oh, I was like, I don't know.
Oh,
Well,
that's
oh,
just
that's
okay.
cool.
yeah.
I
was like,
see.
ah,
I
okay.
see.
Because like yeah,
like
yeah. But Fukume though, he's my favorite character. Simply again, I love the Valentine's episode, and I love just from the beginning to end, you just get these little droplets of his character. You know, of this inferiority complex, and it's just like, it just I don't know. I love it. I love his
Yeah,
character.
that was a good. Now that I think about, like, I that episode was probably the last episode I enjoyed in the show. Like that
After
was
that-
the last episode I thoroughly enjoyed. After, like,
I'm pretty
'cause,
sure that was
like,
the second to last.
Fuck, what was it called? It's like the thing where Mayako was a shrine maiden, and then
Yeah.
like
That was
and
the
then, like,
so-
Chitanda dressed up as the emperor or whatever the fuck it was, or the empress or something like that.
That was the episode before that, though. So the Valentine's Day episode
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
second to last episode. So you're like, that was the last episode
Oh,
I
so-
enjoyed. I'm like, that's just the last episode.
Oh, so there you. Okay, so there you go. I mean, but that's the thing is, the last episode was very just so underwhelming, and it felt like it had a great ending on the tip of its fingers.
Yeah, I agree.
Through that little thing that goes through Oreki's head, and he's like, "Oh, I could just say this, and it would be great."
Right.
And then he just doesn't, and it
Beca-
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but why? Just do it. Like,
Because it doesn't need the show. Like, okay, that in and of itself is somewhat of a confession, but it's more of a confession to like the lifestyle rather than, you know.
it's a confession to himself instead of a confession.
Right. Because I don't think the show needed to end on a confession to Chitanda. That just didn't need that.
No, it didn't, but it was right there, and then they just didn't do it, and that's
Right.
why it was very unsatisfying.
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't unsatisfying, it was a subversion of expectations. And sometimes subversions are good, sometimes subversions are incredibly infuriating, and
I would make a
diminish
case. I would
the
make a
show
case that
itself.
was unsatisfying as well.
It was unsatisfying, and it was a subversion that ended in unsatisfaction versus a subversion that just fucks you up because it's like, whoa, that was like a totally different way. I
Yeah.
never saw that happening, right? Like, it's not like a good subversion. It was just an unsatisfying one, and that's
Yeah.
why I was like, well, now I just like why I just feel like that's it. That the show's over. That's it. Well, now like okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Because like the good part of the show for me was the movie arc. That was like by far my favorite part of the show. By far was the movie arc was my favorite part of the show. And I felt like if the movie arc was the entirety of that show, it would have been a 9 or a 10. It was great. I fucking loved it. But it wasn't. And the festival arc was good, but it fell off a bit in
Yeah.
comparison to the movie arc. And then it had like another good like couple episodes after that. And then it ended very unsatisfactorily. And I was like, all right, well, I mean, it's good, but I cannot put that on the same level as like Fate Zero to me, or Death Note, or like, you know, even Bakano. I you know, like those kinds of shows for me, like I cannot comfortably put that on the same level. And like, it's a tragedy because I like the show. It's good. I wish it was better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get that.
I feel like very small tweaks to the show could have just made it like You know, like it's like I feel like for me,
Just made it that much better.
Yeah.
It was just like it could have been that like just that much better, and just like it would have been like a good damn good show, like satisfying, punchy.
Well, I still think
like,
it was. I still think
good content.
I still think it was a good show, but
I think that if that's one of the first shows you watch, like if Hyouka's one of like the first anime you start off with, it's a strong anime to start with because it has a lot of substance, and honestly, like that's probably like it was Hyouka one of your first, Ryan? Is that why you gave it such a high score?
No,
because it was like
Hyouka has meaning to me for personal reasons, and I think it's a good show. Not solely because it's one of the earlier shows that I watched, because I don't think it was, but
even so, I feel like if that's like a really like one of like the first like 5-10 shows you watch, and I feel like that has a lot of substance, and that could get really get really attached to you.
Yeah.
So I can see why people would give it like 9s, 10s. Like I absolutely understand. Not me, but I can completely get it.
Yeah. I mean I've explained this before, but like when you first start watching anime, everything's a 10, and then you watch a real 10 and all that bullshit. I've talked about that before. And so but yeah, I want to make that clear that is not the case with Hyouka. I mean, I've seen it 3 times by now over the course of 2 to 3 years. So if I really thought if it really had like recency bias or like how do I put it, like like newbie bias, I guess, like I don't think it would have that over 3 years. You know what I mean? Like I could admit, it has faults, especially with that ending. Like I can understand why not a lot of people like it. But
I mean, it's still got a pretty like it's over an 8 overall rating on Mal. Like that's still pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's still pretty damn good to be like above an 8.
Mm-hmm.
That's like for overall, pretty damn good.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I can understand why some people might not like it, but for me, yeah, it's just it's not the case of it was amongst my top first 10 anime that I watched, and that's why I like it or whatever. I mean, I think the fact that I'm able to talk about for days about how I just the watching it over and over and like seeing these characters like from start to finish, seeing the early setups and all that stuff, and then also on top of like the mysteries and the soundtrack and the Kyoto animation and the voice acting, it's just all such a grand time.
Alex, I know that you had this continuous thing where you were like, yes, let's just play the same classical song every single episode.
Yes.
I honestly thought the soundtrack for Hyouka was weak.
Ooh.
I thought it was a weak point of the show because it was not very interesting.
Oh man.
I think apart from the second ED, which is probably my favorite song.
Oh yeah, the openings and endings were good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in terms of any dialogue song, box cello in G major was a goat, and that was it.
Well, that's not like a Hyouka specific though.
Right, that's what I mean. They used just a lot of classical music that I thought that shows get extra points for me when they have original soundtracks that are created just for the show. Like Dorehedo, for example, had banger music all the way through for insert songs, or not insert songs, but BGM and stuff like that. All that stuff was tailor made for that show.
Right.
And I felt like using classical music was different, but I don't think it got the effect they were going for. I don't think that it got that effect to me anyways. I felt like it diminished it because I was like, well, it's just classical music. I like it. It doesn't sound bad. I just don't think that they should have used this for this show. I just don't think it was the right choice.
I can understand. I can understand the argument that I prefer something original, but I felt like it did the job well. It stays within its theme of classical music, fucking classical literature club, and also just the theme of the vibe of the show in general. I feel like it does its job, and it stays within its theme, and I have no complaints for it. I enjoyed listening to it. I felt like it supports the vibe that it's going for, the atmosphere that it's going for when it's playing. That's just my opinion. You may not agree with that because looks like something tells me that Matt doesn't agree with that.
Do you feel like using classical music was kind of a cop out, or do you feel like it was?
It felt like it. It felt kind of like a cop out. Yeah.
No. Are you kidding?
It's good. It's good.
Cho
but it's
Ani
like,
would cheap out
I don't think
like
I
that? You think
don't
they
think,
do that without reason? Have you heard
no.
all of the other
No, no,
Kyoani
no.
soundtracks?
I don't think it's a cop out. I just like not like I just it felt like it just didn't really fit. I'll be honest. It felt like it didn't really fit to me because it was like my problem, it may also just be a problem for me. Like this might just be like a thing that I feel about classical music. When I hear classical music play, I can't fucking tell the difference half the time if the same instruments are involved. I don't know what the hell the song is. I don't give a shit. And it's boring to me. It's like I'd rather get just something that's a little bit more subtle because classical music, I felt like the classical music, it kind of stuck out to me, and it stuck out in a way that was distracting versus like interesting. Like when I was listening to like for example Dore Hedoro, when we were like listening to like BGM and stuff like that in that show, when it stuck out, it was like, oh, this is interesting. Like, this is good BGM. I like this. Whereas when I watched Hyouka and I got the BGM like that with the classical music coming out, I was like, why is this here? I don't know. I just felt like I felt like European classical music does not really belong in that show and in anime to me, honestly. I just didn't feel like European classical music belongs in anime. I honestly just don't feel like it fits.
See, the way I see it is just simply if the soundtrack is doing what it needs to do because the soundtrack it supports the atmosphere of whatever scene's going on right now at the moment, right? Going for something more playful or serious or whatever it is, right? As long as it's doing that job of supporting it properly and not pulling you out of it, which it seems to be for your case that it did pull you out of it. For me, it enhanced those scenes, or it brought up that theme, that playful vibe or whatever thing that they were going for. When I'm saying playful, I'm thinking specifically of the xylophone. But pretty much, yeah. I mean, I think it's doing its job for me, and so like that's why I'm not like whether or not it's classical music. To be honest, I don't care anyways. But even if I did have a hatred towards classical music, like I don't know if I'd hate it that much simply just because it's doing its job for me, at least.
Nah, it didn't feel like that to me. I like I said, it felt like it was just oddly placed to me. It just didn't feel like it fit in any sense of the show to me. It just didn't feel like it fit.
I personally think I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I think there were some points where it got a little annoying because they're playing the same cello song for the 17th episode in a row. But then it also kind of felt like it had a place because it was kind of like, oh, we're starting up again. We're doing the whole like they just kind of got back into the groove of how the show was, and repeating the same song. As much as it was kind of annoying, I was like, you know what? I see what they're going for.
Their soundtrack was not long. I'll admit, their soundtrack's not like that long at all. There's Oreki's theme.
You know what?
And there's like
the one thing that I'm thinking that Alex just said that has clicked something in my head. He said that it feels like it's getting back into the groove of things, right? Like later in the show when they play the same song. But the whole point of the show is that these characters are changing and that they are beginning to show these things about them. Things are changing. So why are we have
I think he's talking about
music?
I think he's talking about a plot context in terms of it's like mysteries and stuff, because like Oreki's theme is like starts playing when he's like deducing shit, right?
Yeah, that fits. That fits. That's the same as like when I watch Death Note and like L's theme plays. It's the same thing. It's the same thing to me. When it's like a character theme, that makes sense because as long as that theme fits the character, then it's fine. Which I thought Oreki's did, and I thought that it fit. But it was like I don't know, something about it was like teasing change the whole show, and then in the end, it felt like nothing actually changed. And that's why I was just incredibly unsatisfied with the ending, especially because it felt like nothing actually changed. Like there was a little bit of change. It sort of started to edge towards change, and it was kind of like a blue ball to me. Like it felt like it was like blue ball on me. Like it's like Oreki was on the precipice of being like just making that leap and
Ah!
becoming an interesting person that does stuff and
Matt, you're
is
hurting
productive
me right now.
and then he just didn't. And
I
was
am
like, well,
feeling physical
nah.
pain. He did change. What do you mean? If he's
I mean, kind of. He
if
did
that's what he
change,
wants to
but
say,
he
you
didn't
know,
make the last leap. He bitched out at the end.
he I mean, at the end of the day, he's still a changed person. I don't know what to tell you, man. You
The
know,
conflict
bitched
of the
at the
last episode was I can't go over this bridge, man. I don't really know about the last episode. That thing
He
was
didn't-
kind of.
I don't.
The last
man.
episode was trash, in my opinion. It was annoying. It was such a boner killer.
Yeah, the last episode wasn't great, but I seriously do not know how you did not see change. Okay, I'm gonna just say right now.
I did.
You are a
see
clown.
change.
You are a
That's what I
clown.
mean. No, that's what I mean. There was change. There was change. There was stuff that changed, but the music didn't reflect that. The
soundtrack doesn't need to change throughout the series. I don't know why
It doesn't, but the I don't know. It just felt like the way the show was going, it was going really well, and then it just didn't finish it. And I was just like, it caused stress. I was like, why is this it? Why is this all we have? Can we get more? And then I can have some closure here. I'm just going to forever be unsatisfied with the show. And I think, honestly, that might be the biggest reason why I brought it down. Because I think that lackluster ending really hurt the show. It really just, overall hurt the show because I was like, the show was good, but it ended shit. And there was a bunch of things I wasn't really a huge fan of. I liked it. Wasn't a big fan of, but I liked it. And then in the end, it just kind of did that. And I was like, well, okay. It was good. It was good. It was good. It was good. That's it. It was good. I don't know. Okay. I cannot give it any more. Any more credit than I have.
Okay. Look, man. I disagree with you on some of your thoughts on the ending. But, I do understand, taking down, shows a notch based on an ending. Because, the ending is important to a show, right? I mean, we've seen that with Wonder Egg and Darling in the Franxx. And Promise Neverland.
Oh!
I've not seen Code Geass. But I understand that. Look, man, we could argue on the ending all day here because I'm a Hyouka simp, so I will. That is a hill I will die on. So, but I'm not gonna keep restating my same points over and over. That just seems redundant. So,
all right.
Okay. Well, quickly, how about we rate the OPs and EDs? Because I think the second ED was the worst one, or the second not ED OP.
Oh,
second OP was the worst one.
Okay. I thought you were going to show us
what the fuck?
I physically recoiled out of that. Okay. First, I'm going to go through all of them real quick. First opening, it sounds like an anime opening. It's fine. My personal opinion. Second opening, I thought it had something going. I personally thought it was a little bit better than the first opening, but not by much. I think it was more.
I think from a visual perspective, the second OP is better, but from a musical perspective, I really did not like the second opening.
The one thing I got, it was weird when I first heard it, but I slowly got into the groove when I kept hearing it. Was that you can hear the sound of a marker, like a marker on a whiteboard.
Yeah.
As kind of a sample for the song, and I didn't realize it until a couple episodes in. I'm like, oh shit, that's kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So, first ED, I can't even remember it. I ain't gonna lie.
Really, it was Mayaka and Chitanda on the bed and stuff, and it was like, ba 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 na na da da na na.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't remember it probably because I didn't like it that much. Okay. Second ED is fire.
Second ED was good.
Second ED is fire. Good. I love it.
The rest of the openings, endings to me was a summary of the show as a whole. It's good.
Okay. Yeah. I would say. I mean, it sounds like you guys like the second ED the best.
Second ED is good. Yeah,
I found the first ED to be more memorable for me, so that's probably my favorite. But
what do you mean more memorable? Second ED has them in Sherlock Holmes outfits. And they're going around with
from a musical perspective. That's what I'm talking about.
The second this Holmes thing. is the second Hyouka ED reminded me so much of K-on's EDs. It's not even funny.
I loved the Mio K-on! EDs. Those ones were great. I don't remember.
They're
I don't
all
remember any of
Mio
the.
EDs. They're all Mio.
I
ED
do
is
not remember that
Mio.
much about K-on! I'm not a K-on! simp like you are. So.
When did you watch K-on? When did you watch K-on?
Most recently, like a month ago, like with my.
I watched it 3 years ago. How the fuck do I remember more than you?
No, well, no,
Alex,
I
think
watched.
we've been over that. You have a very good memory for these kinds of things.
I just watched a couple episodes with my friend in the hotel room, and then I watched K-on! Like the whole show, probably, what is it, August right now? So like maybe a year and like 4 months ago, maybe. I mean, keep in mind, yeah. So
valid. So it's been over a year. I'll understand why you can.
K-on's such a boring, not boring, such an underwhelming show. I don't know how you could simp for that show. I'm not gonna lie, man. It is just like,
bro.
it's so basic. The ending, yeah. I mean, yeah. Like that's why I didn't finish the show when I was in Hawaii because I knew I'd fucking cry. But like, the rest of the show is so basic, dude. Oh my god. I don't.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, how are you gonna binge watch K-on!, man? That shit would actually bore me to death.
Bro, no, I binge watch it to feel something, bro.
How does K-on! get you to like what? That's
Bro,
K-on's just a dopamine shot. It just makes you
Evergarden or something.
fucking yeah. That's what I'm saying.
It makes me
You
feel.
watch
all
show that you
yeah.
can feel something is Violet Evergarden. You don't watch
If I
K-on!
want to feel emotions, period, I watch Love Live. If I want to watch anything to feel, never mind. I just watch Love Live. But
Yeah.
all I'm saying is, if I want to cry, I'm gonna watch Violet Evergarden or something. But like, if I just want to watch something to feel like happy, I've got a lot of options. And K-on's a good one.
Yeah, that. It just makes you feel happy. It doesn't make you like feel any. It's not cathartic in any manner. It's not gonna make you question anything. I don't know, man. Man. Look, I'm not trying to take away. I'm not gonna try to take away K-on! From you, but man, I just feel like there are so many options out there that are not K-on! That is just my opinion. But
Yeah.
okay.
All right.
Oh,
Well, that was productive.
Okay.
final verdict on Hyouka for me. Good, but wish it was better.
I'm not gonna start anything else. But it was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Like I have no complaints.
I enjoyed it the whole way
I have
through.
no complaints. I can understand when people like it a lot.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, get out of here with your fucking political talk. I don't want to hear it. It's just enough out of you guys.
I genuinely liked it.
I know.
liked it.
I just don't want to hear the political. I don't want to hear the political talk. I get why people like it. Just fuck off. Just all right. We'll move on here. Okay.
Political talk. Oh,
That is political. That is political. Alex is a politician. Like he's just trying to not offend anybody. All right.
I am.
Fuck you if you like Hyouka. How about that? I'll be the anti-politics then.
Okay.
I'm all for anarchy. Burn it all to the ground.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So recommendation or like suggestions for the next show. We will transition into that one. Okay.
Yes. Let me grab my notepad.
I mentioned it earlier, and I'm gonna mention.
How many
it
episodes
again.
is it? Because we're looking for 12 here.
It is 12 episodes.
Okay.
And it is, again, I mentioned it when I pitched it last time. It is by far the best 3D animation that I've seen for an anime, and I actually think that Land of the Lustrous was one of the shows that like pioneered like good 3D anime, like really good 3D anime. The soundtrack is fucking phenomenal. The characters are really fun to watch, and
okay, you telling us that isn't going to tell us anything. You're going to tell us about the fucking story.
okay, so the story is basically in a world period, where you have the Lustrous, which are these humanoid gemstones. And the whole idea is that they are trying to protect themselves from the Lunarians, which are like these aliens that come down during the day and try to steal like parts of their bodies, because they're not like they're all a gemstone, so they just if they break, then they break. They're like a fucking rock.
Yeah.
But it's all about them. It's all about them. It's all about them trying to protect, like, defend themselves from the Lunarians, and about Phosphophilite, which is the main character, slowly trying to like figure out what the fuck is actually going on here. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like maybe what is there more behind we actually know, and her slowly trying to discover it.
That is a good suggestion. I was having trouble trying to figure out what exactly to suggest, but then I found one that I actually you know, I had like a list of things, but then once I found one show, I was like, I'm gonna only recommend this show because I don't really don't care about the rest of the other shows really that much. I'm like, I like the other shows that I had on my list was like these are acceptable, but like I wasn't like I never felt strongly about any of it.
Not like super.
One of
super
yeah. So I'm kind of riding on the Olympics / sports anime train right now. I spent all week just watching Haikyuu, like the show, and watching Haikyuu clips. And now I'm going to recommend that we watch Ping Pong the animation.
Ooh,
That's a good suggestion too.
Ooh.
Yeah. I know. Ooh man.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I've heard such great things about it. The style, the art style, so unique, and I just want to know what's all the hype about. Because everyone that's seen it,
You know what?
thinks it's a banger.
That's a good suggestion.
So that's my suggestion.
it's a
I think
good
Alex's
suggestion.
is a really good suggestion too, as well. But all right, Matt, you can go ahead now. I don't think I need. To, I don't think I don't. There's no story for me to pitch on Ping Pong the animation. It's ping pong. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I am once again coming before you to propose Castlevania season 1 and 2.
okay, I'm gonna be.
Because-
I'm gonna be real here. I honestly do not want to watch Castlevania. That is just not.
I think I'm going to want to watch Castlevania. I don't know. I just don't know right now.
Yes,
I
you-
definitely-
you because I think now we're at the point where we can, you know, we can express our vetoes at this point since you've denied me of Higurashi and NHK, so I will just speak my mind here.
Understandable, but fuck you.
I can guarantee that I will get to Castlevania sooner or later because it actually does look something like I want to watch.
Okay, I've
So,
been waiting till this episode to propose it again,
Oh my god.
and I wasn't watching season because I want to rewatch season 1 and 2 so that I can watch season 3 and 4 because I haven't watched season 1 and 2 in a couple of years. So I've been waiting to rewatch
Sorry.
season 1 and 2.
I'm sorry.
So that I can watch it with you guys, and now you're just vetoing it. I'm like, well, fuck. I guess I'll just go ahead and watch it then.
Sorry.
All right.
Okay.
Fair
yeah,
enough.
I'm
fair
sorry.
enough. I get it.
Yeah.
Fuck you, but I get it.
Me and Matt have very different tastes. If that wasn't a given to anyone already.
I'm also
you
once
guys are
again
weird.
going to ask about Devilman Crybaby because
I'm
I've been
cool with
wanting to
Devilman.
watch that for a while too.
I'm cool with Devilman. I like Devilman.
I don't know if I want to cry anymore.
I don't.
That's all, man.
Yeah.
And also, the last one was just Blue Spring Ride or Aoharu Ride.
Mm-hmm.
Romance. You
Honestly,
straight romance.
I'm down for romance, but out of all the
Right?
ones that we suggested so far, that is like the most basic one.
yeah,
I'm definitely leaning towards between Ping Pong and Lustrous. Like
Same
for
here.
sure.
Same here.
yeah, same. As soon as I heard Ping Pong and Land of Lustrous, I was like, well, my suggestions are good, but those ones are better.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I honestly could go for either one. I would say actually, I'm gonna
watch the sports anime though.
I'm going to lean towards Ping Pong because I'm also gonna have my friend over, and so it's something that we could watch. I don't know if I could watch Land of the Lustrous with him because he's like a very much a shonen guy, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I get
sports
that.
isn't too far off from shonen, so that'd be easy to watch. Yeah.
So
Yeah, you know what? I'm definitely leaning towards Ping Pong as well. Like Land of Lustrous sounds good. I'll probably eventually watch it.
I think
but
we should all watch Land of the
yeah,
Lustrous.
Ping
I think
Pong.
that's a good suggestion, honestly. Like I would be down to watch it, but because of the specific circumstance for this week, because my friend's coming over, I think Ping Pong suits me best personally.
I mean, I also just really want to watch that anyways. So,
Yeah.
You know.
Since
I will,
in celebration of the
I'll
Olympics
watch.
too, you know, why not?
Table tennis, yeah.
Ping Pong.
Ping
So
Pong.
it's
It's not-
11 episodes?
Different. It's different. 11 or 12?
I think it's 11. I just looked it up on Mal. It looks like it's 11.
All right.
It is
Yeah,
11, but it's
I'm
true.
down for that. I'm down for ping pong.
All right then.
I don't know if you guys knew, but I used to play quite a bit of ping pong.
Ooh.
So
I can honestly see that too, honestly.
it's fun. It's hard. I'm not very good at it,
Yeah.
but it's fun.
I've only
I
played
will-
it casually, so like with friends.
Before we do watch this, I want to say one thing. This is the one thing I know about this show, is that there is a specific song that plays during their matches, or like there's one song that plays during their matches that I hear one of my friends always play through like Discord, and it is so fucking hype and so intense. that song is you're gonna hear that.
Is
And
that
you're gonna
is it Cav that's seen it before?
no. And I don't know. I don't actually know if anyone in the Discord has seen it. But all I know is that Christian specifically plays the song, like plays like the
I
ping
see.
pong, the animation, like actual like fight music, and it's so hype. So
right.
that's
I'm
what we're looking
excited.
for the
I'm
most.
excited for ping pong.
I'm down. I'm down for ping
Yeah.
pong. I think we should do it.
We're doing it. Ping
Oh,
pong.
I've been looking
Sick.
forward to watching this actually. So
Yeah. All right.
it was kind of like a
We
shock.
are. I honestly was
Well, it
surprised
wasn't on my
how
mind,
good.
But as soon as you recommended it, I was like, oh, yeah.
I was honestly surprised at how good the suggestions were this week. Honestly, I was like, fuck, man. Like, I feel like I don't have good suggestions. And then I saw ping pong. I was like, okay, at least I have something to bring to the table, you know. But I was honestly not sure how the suggestions would be this week. But they were banger suggestions this week.
Banger suggestions. Land of Lustrous eventually, Alex. Don't worry, we'll
Yes.
get
Yeah,
there.
we'll honestly
I'm
get
holding
there.
off.
We'll get
After
there.
having caught up to the manga, I'm holding off on rewatching it for the first time in like 3 years. But I will hold off until we watch it.
Okay. Well.
Alrighty.
So that concludes this episode, and now we literally just hit the 2-hour mark. But
boy.
yeah, tune in next week. We have a very fun guest episode with Miles. We are going to be doing something that Matt cooked up, little quiz, and then and the week following we'll have another Common Grounds, and then after that we will be we'll kind of see what we're looking at here regarding my move-in and all that stuff. But I do plan on keeping this going because this is also it's just a lot of fun with the boys, but yeah, I think that will be it for tonight. So thank you guys for watching, especially if you've gotten to this point. Really appreciate it. But
Wow.
until next week, I'll see you guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.